my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
The very best of mornings to you. Welcome to it, your Feel Good Breakfast Show, live, large and in charge. Did we just coordinate that?
We just did.
We didn't even practice that. I like that very much. Elbow, high five. What do you even call this? Elbow greet. Listen, it's good to have you in our company. Thank you for joining us for the next 3 hours. We'll be providing you with all the entertainment, all the information that you need to get your Tuesday underway. Good morning, Jamie Lee Domberg.
Good morning, Kat. How are you doing this morning?
Very well, thank you. Yes, I am feeling rather peachy because today is National Tropica Day. Every Tuesday is.
Can you see my face?
We are
Can
here.
you see my face? Like
we are in the flavor.
Tuesdays has literally become my best day ever.
Really? How so?
Because Tropica Day, it's Tropica Day. Like,
do you get excited like I do?
I do. I'm invested in it. I mean, I'm like, can you just give me more on the drama, more on behind the scenes? Let me know what's happening.
And unfortunately, I can't even do that. You have to wait until 7:30 p.m. tonight on SABC3 to catch the 3rd episode. Now we're into week 3. We know that last week was all about the drama of Team Peach. Quite ironically, as the episode ended with a little bit of a rift starting to show between Kay and his partner, Khaldeen. And who knows, do they bury the hatchet? Do they find a way of working and moving forward as a team? You'll have to wait to see it tonight. Set your alarms already, 7:30 p.m. on SABC3, Tropica Island of Treasure, Curacao. And of course, you can start hashtagging Tropica as well right now, as well as getting hashtag Expresso show going on our social media streets. And there's lots going on the show today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like someone who also has FOMO today is Kutle, but she's actually at Camps Bay Tidal Pools. Will she be doing a live crossing with all the fitness info with Cindy Abrams today. So she's going to be getting her body ready. Tuesdays is all about our health, all about getting that fitness journey ready. So stay tuned for that as well.
I don't think she has much FOMO. Camps Bay is a beautiful place.
It is, but I mean, like, we are in studio with Tropica vibes.
This is very true. All right, listen, we are also still talking about the coronavirus. It's gotten everyone talking all around the country. So check it out. Go on to Expresso Morning Show SABC3 on our Facebook page, and you'll find our good morning post over there. And we, of course, say good morning to you. The toll of the coronavirus has gone beyond physical health. Let us know, how has the coronavirus impacted your day-to-day life? So yesterday, I went to the stores to just try and get, like, the basics, the hand sanitizers, the soaps that you wash your hands with, you know, just to kind of keep practicing those hygiene tips that we were talking about yesterday. And no hand sanitizer to be found anywhere. It's absolutely crazy.
That is the reality, unfortunately. But we spoke about it yesterday in the news as well, where someone reported how to make hand sanitizer.
Yes.
So maybe we should start looking into those measures now. But also no toilet paper. I was also in the shop yesterday.
Really?
No toilet paper. I'm like, what is life even? But
I think we've like 3 rolls left at home. How many do you have left?
Like 2 maybe. So half with me. Hey, the struggle is real. But do you know what? Idris Elba also just confirmed this morning that he...
I've just heard that from you,
tested positive for the virus. I'm just like, that is affecting my life because my man crush Monday has got the virus.
Idris will be all right. He'll be all right. I'm pretty sure he's got a very strong immune system, and whatever symptoms he might be...
Hi, Idris. I know you're watching in quarantine now, but I just want to say, I love you, though. I love you.
Oh, no. Gee, take it. Just take it.
Let's see how the coronavirus is affecting us on a national scale. President Cyril Ramaphosa has moved quickly to allay any fears around the spread of the coronavirus. He obviously was said yesterday that the government has everything under control. He was addressing the public yesterday. He said the government's main area of concern was the transport system, specifically taxi ranks, as well as informal settlements. The President said the National Command Centre, which he chairs, would make this its main focus in curbing the spread of COVID-19. Random screening will be conducted at train stations and taxi ranks, as well as in the aviation sector. And as of late yesterday afternoon, the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in South Africa was 62, with KZN, Gauteng and the Western Cape worst hit. More news regarding the coronavirus is that High Courts in Gauteng will restrict all people who aren't party to a court case from attending cases, and then Netcare has urged members of the public to be vigilant of criminals pretending to be officials under the guise of conducting COVID-19 home screenings. On the international front, the Swedish government plans to send up to 150 soldiers to Mali to support a French military initiative combining special force troops from different countries. The French initiative aims to have military special forces from several countries accompanying Malian troops into combat. The large, mainly desert West African nation ended a jihadist occupation of key northern towns in 2013 with French help, but the Islamist extremists remain highly active. Swedish aid will consist of a helicopter-borne rapid reaction force of a maximum of 150 men. Then global stock markets have sunk again despite central banks around the world announcing a coordinated effort to ease the effects of the coronavirus. US markets plunged more than 7%, triggering an automatic suspension of trade in the minutes after opening. Meanwhile, China's economy has been devastated by the novel coronavirus outbreak in the first 2 months of the year, according to data published yesterday. Analysts say the nightmare is far from over. The collapse in activity affected every sector of the world's second biggest economy. And now some news about Gift of the Givers in these trying times. Gift of the Givers, always working for the good during times of trouble, now wish to assist medical staff who are in the front line of COVID-19 in South Africa and have called all South Africans to action. The organisation has launched a campaign on the donations-based crowdfunding platform Back a Buddy and hopes to raise up to 2 million rand. Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman, founder of Gift of the Givers, says the campaign has been set up to support the doctors, nurses and medical staff that work in the ICUs and high care units across medical facilities in South Africa to help them buy the equipment and supplies needed for them to do the vital work that they do. So you can go and check that out. And of course, quickly taking a glance at the world of entertainment, following President Cyril Ramaphosa's address on Sunday about how the country is going forward in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic. Organisers of many scheduled large gatherings are either postponing or cancelling their events and convening about the implications regarding logistics and ticket refunding. We'll have more on that a little bit later in our full entertainment report. Right now, let's delve into our sport. We kick it off with rugby news. Members of the Springbok Sevens team and several members of the Springbok Under-20 squad are to be tested for the coronavirus. The Blitzboks recently competed in Los Angeles and Vancouver, came into contact with the Australian men's Sevens team, 2 of whom have tested positive for the virus. A few players in the junior box squad who have travelled individually from clubs in Europe will also be tested. On the footballing front, the Premier Soccer League matches scheduled to take place this week have been postponed. This includes the big fixture between defending champions Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates, and Kaizer Chiefs also scheduled to host Bidvest Wits. These matches, as well as 8 matches scheduled for the weekend, have all been postponed. The PSL will hold a meeting on Thursday regarding any further decisions, including potential suspension of the league. Then staying with football, Manchester United midfielder Bruno Fernandes has been voted the English Premier League's Player of the Month for February. He beat the likes of Marcos Alonso, of course plays for Chelsea, and Arsenal's Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. 25-year-old Fernandes has been on fire. He joined the Red Devils in January this year after leaving Portugal's Sporting Lisbon. He bagged 2 goals against Everton and Watford, had 3 assists in the league since his debut. That's where we leave our sport for now. Let's take a look at the weather.
Thank you so much, G. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning, and we've asked you to send in your sunrise pictures. Thank you so much to Joan Cameron, who sent us this beautiful blue skyline from Britannia Bay, right here in the Western Cape, where you can expect a hazy sunshine and very poor air quality for sensitive groups, reaching a maximum of 21 degrees. Now, another one that came through from Verity Herbert, who sent us this delightful orange sunrise from Rubik West, where you can expect a hazy sunshine as well, with very warm temperatures and air quality that could be hazardous, reaching a maximum of 35 degrees. Remember to keep those pictures coming through on our social media page. But right now, let's take a look at the temperatures for the rest of the country. Now, high humidity coming through for you, Polokwane, with a low of 13, peaking at 24 degrees. Umbumbela, 15-23. And then if you do find yourself in Pretoria today, your low is 14, peaking at 26 degrees. A northerly wind of 13 kilometers per hour can be expected for Johannesburg, with a low of 14 and a maximum of of 23. Mahikeng 15.25, and then thunder showers expected for you Klerksdorp today with a low of 15 and a high of 24. Heavy rainfall can also be expected for Kimberley with a low of 15 and a high of 23. Bloemfontein 12.21, Richards Bay 19.26, and then high humidity expected for you Pietermaritzburg with a low of 14 and a high of 25. If you find yourself in South Africa's playground today, Durban, your low is 19, peaking at 25 degrees as well, and then Mthatha 13.24. Now a northeasterly wind of 33 kilometers per hour can be expected for you East London, ranging from 19 to 25, and then high humidity coming through for you Craddock today with a low of 16 and a high of 31. A northeasterly wind of 28 kilometers per hour for Port Elizabeth PE with a low of 18 and a maximum of 25, as well as high humidity coming through for George today with a low of 15, peaking at 26. Now the coolest start of the morning can be found in Sutherland with an all low of 9 and a high of 27. If you find yourself in the mother city Cape Town today, your range is 16, peaking at 25. Worcester 11.32, Springbok 10.30, and the highest temperature as always can be found in Uppington with a low of 20, peaking at 32. Whatever the weather, wherever you find yourself on this beautiful Tuesday, make sure that you make it count.
A very good morning to you, Uncle Tabsy over here. Yes, indeed, make it a feel-good time of day, no matter what the weather's looking like in your part of the country. It's a Tuesday. It's Tuesday on your feel-good breakfast show. And I'm sure if you paid attention to all the temperatures across the country, you've noticed that the temperatures are starting to drop. Yes, they are. We're heading straight into autumn. And that means that it's time to sort of refresh your wardrobe and start looking at staples in your wardrobe that work into this new season, right?
Yeah, completely. You might need a few of those transitional items, and I've got one of those as part of my Tuesday Choose lineup for you guys to help me with. You're going to go onto the Facebook page and you're going to choose between these two. So yeah, we've got something that's a bit lighter. It's kind of a long sleeve tee, the crew neck as well. A nice neutral stripe, nice muted tones, beautiful cotton rich blend. It's comfy. This, I would say, is probably the more transitional of the two.
Yes,
kind of to ease into the slightly cooler temperatures. But it's a beautiful cotton feel. Love the fabric and a pretty cool look. I think it'll go nicely with the jeans.
Studio W.
Studio W it
nice.
is.
You know, it's going to last you your entire life.
Really good quality. And then we move over to RE, where we've got something that's a bit more suitable for winter. Nice fleecy lined grey. Again, the crew neck, super comfy. Maybe better for the slightly cooler weather, but we are feeling it. It's certainly at 5:30 this morning when we rock up, you can feel the change in temperature. So a little bit warmer, a little bit more comfy, but I don't get to choose. You guys get to choose. So let us know which top you like most. All you have to do is head over to the Expresso Facebook page, vote for your favorite item, and we'll reveal the winner a little bit later, and I will don it with pride because I know you have helped me choose. So thanks so much, guys. Look forward to what do you tend towards?
I think this one. I think the striped one. It's got a nice little design to it. This detail and the texture of the actual stripes is quite interesting as well. But of course, you can shop these looks as well online in store. You can download the Woolies app and be in line with the style.
Tropical Island of Treasure is back for a 9th season, and this time around we're coming to you from the Dutch Caribbean island of Curacao. Here, 6 celebrities and 6 smooth fans will pair up to compete for fame and fortune and the smoothest treasure of all, a shared 1 million rand. 3, 2, 1, go! Catch the new season of Tropical Island of Treasure Curacao every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. from the 3rd of March on SABC3.
Welcome back to it. It is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, live on SABC3. It's a beautiful Tuesday. You have chosen to start your day with the right stuff on the right side of the bed. It is your feel-good breakfast show. Time for us to celebrate those birthdays, right?
Yes, and if you are celebrating your birthday today, then you guys know that I love this family so much.
Yeah.
But you actually celebrated with the brother, which is Rob Kardashian.
And you love him?
Yes, I used to love him, but now.
I
anyway,
like him.
But he's doing the most. He actually has his own fashion line called Halfway Dead. Now, recently, Rob was denied primary custody of his an ex-fiancée, Black China, as we know her. Their adorable daughter, Dream, but his legal battle over his child still continues. Unfortunately, it's a very sad situation right now. Yeah. But this is not the only thing he's fighting for, Rob. He's also fighting to get his health back on track. As you know, he picked up like a lot of weight, and he is now quitting drinking, focusing on making better diet choices. Now, a picture of him and his mother, Kris Jenner, was shared on Instagram recently, and it's pretty clear that he has lost some kilos. So he's doing the things. It's also great to see him out and about, because he's been missing for quite some time on the social, keeping it low.
Yeah.
But now he's focusing on himself. So
that's beautiful. I almost said, what's Jack Parrow doing next to Kris Jenner over there? Man, this is beautiful. Happy birthday, Rob Kardashian. But of course, it's time for us to celebrate the true superstars of our lives. That's you, our viewers. And here's a birthday wish going out. It's from Tumi from Afternoon Express. The chef on Afternoon Express says, wishing you nothing but the best for this year going forward. Thank you for everything. I love you so much. Happy birthday, baby girl. And this is a very happy birthday to you from Tumi. And then we've got Tashil's birthday here. Happy 10th birthday to our son. When I think of how your journey started on this earth at 12 weeks premature and 810 grams, you have surely grown from strength to strength. Mummy and Daddy are proud of you every day, and we love you more than life itself. Tashil, happy birthday.
that is so beautiful. Then I would like to wish my daughter Tia de Jager a happy 11th birthday. Hoping you have a fabulous day. We love you lots, from your mom, brother Tay, and the rest of the family. Look at the cutie pie over there. And then happy birthday to Frida. May you have a fantastic day, from the Farouk and McLaughlin clans and your sisters and brother for you, Frida.
Oh, happy birthday. Well, listen to this one. I love it when we have a birthday like this. 91st birthday. Happy 91st birthday. Yes, Oma Carolina August, also known as Oma Nini. We thank God for giving us you and keeping you for us. May you have many more joyful years and God's richest blessings upon your life. This is from the August and Morris families. They love you. Happy, happy birthday, Oma Carolina. And then, of course, Oma Mary is turning 80 years old today. Mary Sendrick, your family, especially your grandchild Lucinda and brothers and sisters, they wish you a very, very special day and all the best of the blessings to come. We pray that God grant you all the best. We love you, Oma Mary. Happy birthday, Gogo.
Oh, and then another big one, a happy 64th birthday to my father, Ibrahim, also the amazing grandfather to my son, Ibrahim Azad. May all prayers made for you and by you be accepted. Thank you for simply being you, looking cool out there with the waters. And then a happy 8th birthday to our beautiful Zian. Enjoy your day and stay blessed. This comes from your daddy, Auntie Rhonda, Ma Tessa, Pa Harold, and the whole family. Love you lots, Zian.
Ooh, and a very happy birthday to Luca. A blessed birthday to my Prince Luca Peregrino, from your mommy, your daddy, your pa, your ma, and the rest of the family. Happy birthday, cute Luca. And then Lisa also celebrates her birthday today. It's a big one, 21st birthday. Happy 21st to the most vibrant person we know, and undoubtedly our family's resident comedian. We can imagine, or we can't imagine rather, a day without your laughter and jokes. Oh yeah, you can see she's a funny one. Love from your mom, Valerie, and all of your family. Happy birthday, Lisa.
I know. You know what we haven't had in a while?
What
was those
haven't we?
Videos.
Yes! Where are the videos?
You just need a 10 to 15 second video, and all you have to do is send it to 071 640 6551. Or if you want to send a special wish to everyone, then you have to email us at birthdays@cordova.tv. But if today is your special day on the 17th of March, then guess what? Happy birthday.
Well, a great way to start the day with all those beautiful birthday wishes. We really do appreciate and love sharing the day with you. Well, right now we're about to cross over live to Tulupiri in Johannesburg, who's connected with Aubrey Mudiba, SuperSport United defender, to talk football and finance.
Thank you very much, Kat. A very good morning to you, Expresso family. We are coming to you live from a very chilly Johannesburg this morning. Now, Aubrey Postman Mudiba grew up in Limpopo, and he always had the dream of becoming a professional soccer player. Fast forward to 2015, and that dream became a reality after winning the Nedbank Kiona team search. Since then, at the age of 24, he is playing for top PSL club SuperSport United, and has gone to achieve so much in his career, representing South Africa at the Olympics and winning numerous awards, including that of PSL Young Player of the Season award. This morning, Aubrey the man himself joins us right here from our Johannesburg studios live to chat to us a little bit more about his football career and how Nedbank has helped him achieve success not only on the field but off it as well. A very good morning to you, Aubrey. How are you doing?
Very good morning. It's very chilly.
It is very chilly. Are you not feeling the cold without a jacket?
No, I am, but I have to be strong. And yeah, good morning, and I'm happy to be here.
And thanks for gracing us with your presence, Aubrey. Let's start off with your nickname, the Postman. Where does that come from?
I think it started back in 2014 was while I was at the school. I used to deliver those pinpoint crosses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Then they were like, "No, you the postman because you always deliver." So yeah, from then onwards, I think people started calling me postman, and I'm showing it as well in the PSL. So yeah.
And you haven't disappointed in delivering those goals there, Aubrey. But let's backtrack a little bit. I mean, you play for SuperSport United. Where did your love and passion for the beautiful game begin?
I think it started back at home in Limpopo. I think my granny, she's the one, who motivated me to take it seriously because, people used to talk a lot, about my games while I was at home. And yeah, I started when I was in primary. And yeah, from then onwards, I played for my amateur team. And up until, I came to Joburg in 2009, School of Excellence, which is a football school. And yeah, I started there. I started taking it seriously. I started pushing because I really wanted to make it, in the highest level of football in South Africa. And I never looked back. I worked hard. As well, I wanted to change the situation back at home because I know through soccer, I'll be able to change that. And, I started working. I started pushing up until I went to the Kiona initiative, which really helped me a lot, to expose my talent. And yeah, I'm just happy, enjoying every moment right now at SuperSport.
I mean, and you're doing great work at SuperSport. I mean, it is one of the top clubs in the PSL. And we know that you rose to fame through the Nedbank Kiona team search. How has Nedbank helped you flourish your career into what it is today?
The Nedbank Kiona team search, played a big role. I saw the initiative, I think it started in 2014. So I was watching the game that they played against Kaizer Chiefs, which they lost in penalties. And yeah, I saw it as a good thing. I was like, this thing can help me, reach my my target, which is, to get that exposure from scouts, coaches all over the country. And, I just decided to, let me join this initiative because, people don't really know more about me. So I think, playing that game will, showcase my talent to the whole South Africa. So, I just wanted there. And, from then I entered, got the SMS, went for trials. And from then, I made it to 18-man squad that played against Orlando Pirates. And that was it. So, yeah.
And as they say, the rest is history. Now, we know that as a soccer player, money is very important. I mean, it is a short career, so it's important to look after your money, invest your money. How has Nedbank helped you do exactly that?
I think the Nedbank introduced, the Ring of Steel. I managed to, meet a financial advisor. We started engaging, we started meeting, having a lot of meetings, about money. And, he put some knowledge into my mind about, taking care of my financials because we all know soccer is a short career, so I wanted to have a security after football.
And we know that you are a soccer player that plays for both club and country, but off the pitch, what does Aubrey like doing?
Aubrey is a very chilled guy. Just have my training sessions, go home, try and rest. On my spare time, go to mall, spend time with family because we really, we're really like, you know, a good family. Like we take care of one another, and yeah, just have spend time with family, go to malls, and you know, read books as well. So yeah.
And obviously play some soccer with the family.
Yeah, I know. I have a little brother. Yeah.
Talking about playing some soccer and training, we're going to get into a bit of training with Aubrey a little bit later on. He's going to be showing us some tips and tricks with the ball. Hence, we are dressed like this. We're going to be doing that, like I said, when we get back. But for now, it's back to you guys in studio.
Thank you very much, Tulu Piri, out there in Johannesburg with Aubrey Modiba, doing the broadcasting work. Much appreciated, my brother. Looking forward to connecting with you once again.
Like a cool guy, the postman.
Yeah. Football and finance is a really good conversation to have. Eh?
Yeah, man. It makes a lot of sense to me.
Let's connect to another conversation right now online on our Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show SABC3. The choosing of the completion of the outfit today. Which one of the two were you feeling most?
I suppose this one kind of feels a bit more transitional, like the right time of the year to be wearing a long sleeve tee that's not too hot. But I love the fleece, the comfort, the crew neck.
Yeah.
And this for me goes really nicely. I like the grey paired with sneakers with a bit of grey trim. So yeah, I'd be happy with both, man.
Well, Hester Brown says, surely you should choose the one you like best, Graham.
Oh, thank you.
You are going to wear it.
Thank you. I love you, man.
Marion says, morning, Graham. Marion says you should go for the plain one.
Okay.
Shireen Abrams, good morning, Graham and the rest of the team. Happy Tuesday. I love the stripe one.
Oh.
Also, love how the rest of the team are looking this morning. Have an awesome day. Thanks so much. Let's take one more comment, shall we? Delray Billet says, good morning. Stripes.
Stripes.
Liking it. But there's people saying grey, there's some saying stripes. I'm quite conflicted at the moment. Do we have a final decision? Do you feel
must
like...
I wear like half of the show? I'll wear in the grey.
I think most people
stripes,
are saying stripes, though. Yeah, I'm seeing like a lot of stripes. Stripes it is.
You have spoken, and we shall do what you decide. So you have chosen the stripes.
Chosen
them.
Choosing on a Tuesday.
From the Tuesday choose is from Studio W. We're going to go with the stripes. So thanks so much for your help, guys. And I think this is the one I probably would have chosen for myself. So I'll go with. Was it Aubrey who said just go with what you want?
Yeah.
But that's cool.
Thanks
so
for choosing.
much, guys.
Thanks for choosing.
Thanks for choosing.
Who says second-hand is second best? At Cash Converters, you can buy top brands at bargain prices and sell your goods for instant cash.
Who's changing?
Okay, I will change after Global. I've got to do Global. What did you do with my tablet?
Say that, bitch.
Really?
Really? It's more for me.
Let's do it.
3, 2.
Then global stock markets have sunk again despite central banks around the world announcing a coordinated effort to ease the effects of the coronavirus. US markets plunged more than 7%, triggering an automatic suspension of trade in the minute after opening. Meanwhile, China's economy has been devastated by the novel coronavirus outbreak in the first 2 months of the year. According to data published yesterday, analysts say the nightmare is far from over. The collapse in activity affected every sector of the world's second largest economy. And now some news about Gift of the Givers in these trying times. Gift of the Givers, always working for the good during times of trouble, now wish to assist medical staff who are in the front line of COVID-19 in South Africa and have called all South Africans to action. The organisation has launched a campaign on the donations-based crowdfunding platform Back a Buddy and hopes to raise 2 million rand. Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman, founder of Gift of the Givers, says the campaign has been set up to support the doctors, nurses and medical staff that work in the ICUs and high care units across medical facilities in South Africa to help to buy the equipment and supplies needed for them to do the vital work that they do. That's where we leave our global headlines for today.
Welcome back, all you beautiful people. You are still living your best life right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show on SABC3. It's Tuesday. So today, as always, we start your day off with some positivity, and hopefully you choose today to be mindful of that.
Yes, we choose to be positive today because the mind, the body, the soul, they all feed off the energy that you put out. It's a fact. It's been proven time and time again. It's very important to feed positivity in your life, regardless of your circumstance. Doesn't matter what you're going through, you've still got to be positive. And today's inspirational quote comes from one of my favorites, Brazilian model and TV personality. I'm talking about Alessandra Ambrosio. Do you remember her?
Yes.
Yes, she grew up, being very insecure about herself, constantly feeling not so beautiful, and she constantly was able to find the ability to feed positivity into her own life. And now she's cited as one of the world's sexiest women. And in May of 2007, People Magazine's annual 100 most beautiful people in the world, put her on the list, and she was on the list. She was once quoted as saying something quite profound.
Yeah, she said, take care of yourself, be healthy, and always believe you can be successful in anything that you truly want. Wow.
I love it. Take care of yourself, be healthy, not just healthy as in like health-wise, but healthy as in your mind, healthy in your energy and the energy that you allow into your space and the energy that you give out to the rest of the world. Hopefully that's inspired you to go out there today, to believe in yourself, to be healthy, and to take it on and just slay it. Slay it.
I love that, Tubbsy. Emphasize it.
Healthy. Not just healthy, but healthy.
Not healthy, but healthy.
Okay, we all know.
I'll talk about a man who knows how to keep healthy, both on the football field and financially. Aubrey Mudiba is hanging out with Tolopiri in Johannesburg right now. We're about to catch some tips from the pro.
Yeah, man.
Thank you very much, Kat. A very good morning to Expresso family. If you've just tuned in, we are coming to you live from our Johannesburg studios with SuperSport United defender Aubrey Mudiba, and we've been catching up about his career and just talking about his success as a football player. Now, we know that as a sports person, as a soccer player, warming up forms such a vital part of your performance. And today, Aubrey is going to be here chatting to us a little bit about what goes into his training and how he prepares for a big game. Aubrey, I was fortunate enough last week actually to join you guys at Megawatt Park for your training. How often do you train, and what exactly goes into a training session at SuperSport United?
I think we train about like 5 times a week, depending on the games, of course, because sometimes we have like midweek games. So, we start with activation, and, our trainings, I don't think they vary that intense, especially, during the season. But, pre-season, I must tell you, is very hard. We do have like 3 sessions in a day, activation in the morning, light session, and another light session in the afternoon. But pre-season is very intense, but at the moment I think we're just having simple training sessions so that we can prepare well for the games.
Yeah, it looked intense last week when I was there. Let's just go through some warm-ups that you do before getting ready for a big game. What are some tips, some tricks that you can give us and show us?
I think the coach tries and make us warm up with more with the balls, to familiarize ourselves with balls. And we do have small-sided games. We also have square, we call it square, where 2 guys mark inside, so that they must get the ball. So as must keep the ball so that you don't lose it. And get used to that. When you get to the game, we're well prepared, so that we can have a good game and not have injuries, because that can hurt you if you don't warm up properly.
Yeah. Talking about warming up, take us through a light warm-up session before you guys get into training.
We do jog.
Okay.
Then we go back again.
Okay.
Then when we go back again, we come up with stretches.
Okay.
With our legs up, and then straight legs as well, and go back again.
Yeah.
Across.
Okay.
So that
so basically just warming up the muscles.
Yeah, the muscles.
Before we get into the hectic training.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then our hands, obviously, part of our body, because we run with our hands.
Yeah.
And then, we'll like
so basically just stretch your arms.
Your arms.
Again, warming up the muscles.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Getting ready to save those goals.
Then again.
Also, it would be like...
like this.
Okay.
All right. Then again, this side. make sure, you know, we do both sides.
Yeah.
Then,
So basically just stretching all your limbs, getting them match ready. When we get back, we're not done with Aubrey yet. We're still going to be getting into some ball tricks. He's going to be kicking the ball and showing us some tips and tricks, like I said a little bit earlier on. But for now, let's get back to you guys in studio.
Thanks very much there, Tsulupiri. Would you like a coffee?
I would love a coffee,
I would gladly give you a sip of mine, but you know the current status quo
we're not
requires
allowed.
that such not be done.
But thanks, I appreciate the offer, man. I really
Because this one's
appreciate
really
it.
so good. Like, it's got extra love in it. With a kick of like... It's got a kick of like...
Please bless me with a coffee, please. Lord, bless me with a coffee. No, I'll organise my own coffee. I can do that. I'm an able-bodied human being. And we will see you after the break.
You know when you're connected, Graham Richards?
Only the highest grade Arabica beans. McCafe. Great coffee, simple. See you after the break.
Only you can make my day.
Let me tell you something about goals. They start way before the celebration. Whether it's football, life, or money, they rise before the sun and race their way up, challenging the distance to the finish line. Because once they reach it, they want to exceed it. They open doors and raise their hands when life calls, personifying resilience and tenacity, and then committing to making a commitment. Everyone seems to know something about goals, but what no one will tell you is how difficult it is to just get going. So you want to know a secret about goals? The best way to achieve them is to start.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beautiful people. It is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, live on SABC3. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning. Thank you so much for choosing to wake up on the right side of bed. Now, if you're into soccer, Aubrey Modiba is joining us this morning. This time around, showing us some ball tricks. Sulu.
Thank you very much, Tabzi. If you've just tuned in, we are coming to you live from our Johannesburg studios with SuperSport United defender Aubrey Modiba. Now, if you're a soccer fan and looking to learn some new tips and tricks with the ball, you're in the right place, because this man right here is going to be showing us a few basic things we could get into when we're trying to warm up for a soccer match. Now, Aubrey, I'm going to say that please don't make this too difficult for me, because I'm an amateur. I'm not really a soccer player. So what can we do to warm up for a game with the ball? Show us some very basic tricks that we can do.
Oh, nothing difficult.
Okay.
You know, just
Oh, so left, right with the ball?
yeah.
And what does this help with?
Control of the ball. You need to control the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that, you know, don't lose it easily.
So is this something that you guys do in training?
Yes, we do. Then
Okay.
you can go back with it again.
Okay.
Yeah. Go forward.
It looks easy, but it's very complicated.
Yeah, it is.
So this improves your ball control.
Yes, you need to control the ball and the focus as well.
And the focus as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we
And what else
juggle
can you
as
do?
well.
Okay, this is something that we all grew up doing. Ne?
Yeah, but it looks easy, but it's not easy.
We call it taking.
Yeah.
Okay. And what does this help with?
You know, as well, you know, focus on the ball,
Yeah.
control of the ball,
Yeah.
because they always say, can't rap, can't play. So if you can't rap, you
Yeah.
won't be able to play.
You won't be able to do.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm terrible at it. I think I can only do like 2. You want to show us how many you can do in like the space of a minute?
Let me see.
Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yo.
9, not bad. Can I try and go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh,
Yeah, it hits your head as
it
well.
hits my head, right?
8.
So I'm not that terrible.
No, not bad.
Okay. So how often would you do this in training?
Every day.
Every day?
Yeah.
Okay. So besides ball control and concentration, what else can we do as an amateur, as a beginner, looking to get into the sport, looking to just perfect your skill?
No, I think these are the basics thing.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think because even at school, football school, first thing they teach you are this kind of things, you know, the basics of the, you know, playing football.
Yeah.
Because you can't start by doing, you know, these difficult things. I think you need to start by doing this so that, you know, you can, you know, progress gradually going forward so that, you know, you can learn other things. So I think these are the things that are, you know, helping a lot of people, as well as, you know, ball control, shooting, reading of the game, because it's not about playing with your feet.
Yeah,
you need to play with your mind as well. So I think, yeah, they help you in terms of that.
Aubrey, at the age of 24, you've achieved so much success in your short career. For a young person out there looking to get involved in the game of football, looking to start their football career, what advice do you have for them?
You know, I think discipline, respect, take care of your body, because, you know, these are like your tools. I think, you know, if you can take care of your body, eat well, rest well, make sure you do extras. And, you know, yeah, listen to coaches, listen to older players, you know, in your team. I think that can help you go as far as you can. And, you know, I think I managed to do that so far, so good. You know, I just hope to keep it that way.
So for you, I'm going to ask you to show us, before we go, one last trick that you like to get up to in training, or that you like to practice with the soccer ball. This is your moment. Take it in stride.
The skills, you know, taking on players.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that's the thing you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, in order for you to create goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think these are the things, you know, I like this one.
Yeah.
Because, you know, at training, you know, I always kill them with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these are the things that I do, you know. No, yeah.
Yeah. So this is how you got your nickname, the Postman.
Yeah,
That's how
because,
you
you
got
know,
your nickname, the Postman.
after doing this, you know, I make sure that I deliver a quality cross for my teammates to score.
Thank you so much for joining us, Aubrey. It's been an absolute pleasure having you. From the 24-year-old SuperSport United defender, Aubrey Mudiva, he showed us how to kickstart your career as a soccer player, and most importantly, how Nedbank has helped him flourish, not only on the pitch, but off it as well. Like I said, thank you so much for coming through, Aubrey. We look forward to having you again on Expresso. For now, it's back to you guys in studio.
It's back to us in the studio.
Yeah.
We're very excited.
Yeah, we are.
Because it's Tuesday, which of course means that it is hashtag Tropica Tuesday all around the land. Tonight, the third episode of Tropica Island of Treasure Curacao is on, and it's one that you don't want to miss out on. Jamie Lee, I can tell you, it's going to be crazy. Are you ready for it, though?
I don't know.
I don't know. Listen, I can tell you that on tonight's episode, you can expect a lot of tears. There'll be uneasy moments, there'll be disappointments for the team, because tonight is the first elimination of the season. This is where it actually actually gets real and people's emotions run high as they realize that elimination is actually a real thing. We are in a competition, and if you don't make the cut, you will be eliminated out of the competition, off the island, done.
Heart is sad.
Smooth fame and fortune, done. No more.
No, my heart is sad. But if you're like me, don't forget to tune in tonight at 7:30 for episode 3 of #Tropica Island of Treasure Curacao. Now here's a sneak peek of what's to come tonight on Tropica Island of Treasure Curacao.
Next time on Tropica Island of Treasure Curacao. After some dramatic twists in the first week of team challenges, it's time for the first elimination.
What?
Now we get to see who will double cross who.
What was the strategy? We're not a threat.
Betrayal always comes from those closest to you.
How do you play this game with an honest heart?
Catch Tropica Island of Treasure Curacao Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. Repeat Saturdays at 8 p.m. only on SABC3.
Ooh, love to see it. All that action right here on SABC3. What a season. It's turning out to be quite the heated season of Tropica Island of Treasure.
It's all that subtext, the drama behind the scenes, but now the cracks are starting to show. I love the fact that the challenges don't just test them physically, but they test the bonds.
Mentally as well.
How can we survive with no honour? How can we survive with no honour? Love it. So catch it all going down tonight right here on 3, 7:30.
Okay, so we know that the big conversation going on right now is all about self-isolation in light of the coronavirus. So the question we are asking everyone, and in fact, I want to ask you, Graham, what would you do? How would you spend your day, spend your time if you were told to self-isolate?
Well, I mean, we're kind of doing it as a family already. We started yesterday with the first of, because little man's off school now. They've handled school. So it felt a bit strange. I'm just worried about now, because effectively we're going to have to start homeschooling him for the next month or so. Is he going to get bored? He's going to miss his little mates. So a lot of my questions surround my family unit and who goes out when and what do you do? And,
how do you keep yourselves busy?
But it just makes you think about the quarantine extent of that conversation. That's where it gets really, really interesting. So, but you can let us know on our social media platforms. How has the coronavirus affected your life? We know that, yes, there is a physical implication, but for most of us, it's just changed the way that we are having to live our lives. Did you rush out and go and buy 20 bottles of hand sanitizer? Shame on you.
5 bottles of tomato sauce. Honestly, guys.
And all the toilet paper that exists. But you can let us know how you are dealing with coronavirus in your own home environment. And of course, we're not about spreading panic or fear. We're about spreading understanding and the right kind of information. So we'll see you after the break to continue that very important conversation.
Don't ruin the moment. Prevent allergies or cold and flu with fast-acting powder nasal spray from the Nexa range. Nexa. Brought to you by Pharma Dynamics.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso on a very interesting Tuesday morning. Thanks for sticking around. As we come to terms with the current state of affairs globally, many of us are left with no choice but to work from home. In fact, it's being imposed by a lot of companies out there. Our own company, has made some rather strict new decisions in that regard. The problem is when it comes to unsupervised work from the comfort of your own home, it's easy to get a little distracted. Productivity could take a bit of a knock. We are joined this morning by our tech guru and good friend Brian Smith to look at how we can use tech to be more productive when working at home. Welcome.
Good morning.
You're not working from home right now, but are you working from home in general? Have you kind of left the office space?
Absolutely, yes. I'm working from home, and I think it's the responsible thing to do as South Africans. Is, as they say, slow the curve, make sure that you can self-quarantine or at least, have a relative amount of self-isolate, and just ensure that the virus spread itself is just slowed so those people who need the most amount of medical care can get it.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about the situation where you're now working from home and you are trying to keep your focus levels there so that you can be efficient, effective. How can we use technology to help us focus while working from home?
Absolutely. I think if you're perhaps not used to working from home, or perhaps if home is an environment where you've got the kids around, perhaps other distractions, it can be really difficult to hone and focus on the work you need to do.
Yeah.
But there are a number of different great apps and services that you can actually use to sort of help cultivate your focus and stay tuned to the job at hand. And principally, if you think about it, perhaps one of the most easy distractions if you're at home and working on your laptop or smartphone is being able to log into social media or your other personal accounts. So one of the things I always recommend is use what are called digital well-being apps. If you've got a newer smartphone, you'll actually have some of these features built into your smartphone where you'll be able to use what are called focus mode. So you'll be able to prohibit access to certain apps or limit notifications during set times of the day. I personally find that really useful for zeroing in a specific task, or perhaps sort of putting blinkers on, so to speak, and managing my time. There are also sort of different technologies you can use if sort of that's up your avenue as well, looking at noise cancelling earphones or other sort of distancing techniques that you can use to sort of isolate and focus on the job at hand.
Hide the TV remote. Get someone else to hide it for you. And productivity needs to ramp up, and I think a lot of companies have been allowing home-based work for a while because they say you can actually, if you get the right conditions, work more effectively without the distractions of the workplace, but you want to be as productive as possible at home. What can we use from a tech front to boost our productivity?
Totally. I think automating smaller tasks is always something that will help free up sort of your time from working on the mundane to working on things where you need to apply your mind or perhaps have a more strategic focus. One of my favorite tools is a service called IFTTT, so if this then that, IFTTT.
Okay. Cool.
And you can actually use that to sort of automate a variety of tasks by connecting to your different accounts or social accounts. For example, you could log your hours of work on your laptop or something similar. So sort of managing those tasks will give you more time and ability to focus on larger goals. There are also time management techniques such as breaking into 25-minute intervals with 5-minute rest intervals in between. And then every four sessions, so every 2 hours, take a half-an-hour break, get a step outside, enjoy some fresh air, and ensure that you also have the focus to do so, because when you're working in an isolated environment, it's very easy to get sucked into the task at hand and then not have a wider focus of the rest of the work you're doing.
I mean, that sounds like the ideal kind of work day, where every 2 hours you would have a half an hour to just step outside, take a bit of a jog, maybe just walk around, smell the flowers, just to kind of, increase the quality of your lived experience. Exactly. So from focus to productivity, let's focus on communication, because a lot of people don't work in isolation in terms of the functioning of an entire organization. You do need to communicate, but WhatsApp groups are just like, yo, I can't. That message was not relevant to me. Why is it in the group and why am I getting 45 unread messages? So let's talk about being more effective from a communication point of view and how we can use technology then to be more efficient from a communication point of view.
Well, it might sound simple, but I think perhaps the most elegant thing to do is with your teammates or your colleagues, pick one messaging app to work on that will serve all of your needs. It's very easy to get conversations fragmented, especially when you're working from home, from WhatsApp to Skype to any other sort of platform that you might use. And picking one standard of communication, I find, and I think the industry finds, is perhaps the better way to keep all of your conversations, files and opportunities in sync. And then again, using sort of team workflow solutions to keep track of what each other person is doing, given that you're not able to have a spontaneous conversation face-to-face with them, such as Trello or other services, will help you sort of manage each work in a streamlined fashion that will help you keep abreast of what your colleagues are doing and how you can help, or what your opportunity is there to assist.
Who knows? With a little bit of tech, we might find that working from home is actually more effective.
That might be the new normal.
That might be the new
like the sound
normal.
of that.
Yeah, we like the sound of that a lot. At Bandwidth Blog or Brian Smith Essays, where you can ask some of those pertinent questions if you, as an individual or company, maybe want to explore how tech can help you on a grander scale. But that's how technology is helping us work a little more effectively when at home.
Well, one other thing that I have started being effective at is exploring the world of second-hand shopping.
Okay.
And I've quickly learned that second-hand is not second best, especially when you're shopping at cash converters. You can buy top brands and bargain at bargain prices and sell your second-hand goods for instant cash in your pocket. No matter how you look at it, it's a win-win situation.
I'm always here for a good deal, okay? And to make things a little bit more exciting, Cash Converters is offering you the chance to win, wait for it, 2,000 Rand in instant cash. Now, all they want you to do is head on over to a Cash Converter store and simply take a picture of you buying, selling, or simply browsing. It's that easy. Now, we already have seen some amazing images like you guys at home. Like you guys are just next level, so check this out.
Okay, so we got this from Lungani Ndawo, who sent, or rather went all the way out and said that music heals the soul. Let the past pass and bring joy. I loved having the Cash Converter stuff asking me to play some melodies. How beautiful is that? That is so cool. And the nice thing is you can find just about any type of musical equipment at those stores. So do head on over out there and take pictures of yourself interacting with them. Prabhashni Subramani says, it was recently my birthday, and I took my birthday cash and browsed amazing deals from gym equipment to kitchenware and TV sets. I definitely found some treasures at Cash Converters. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Amazing. And then lastly, Mary says she popped into the Cash Converters in Randburg and had a blast testing out a keyboard and microphone set and loved the world-class experience. I'm here for it.
I was actually at that shop, Mary. That's absolutely stunning. Well, we're giving away, yes, I was at that shop, and they've got a lot there for you to take a look at. So we are giving you a chance to win that 2,000 Rand in instant cash. Why don't you go out to a Cash Converter store, take a picture of yourself buying, selling, or simply browsing. So how Shapa window shopping, you still could enter this competition, and then tell us a story about what it is that you are doing at that shop. And who knows, you could be winning yourself that 2,000 Rand in cold, hard cash inside what? Your pocket.
Yes.
It's almost the top of the hour. Let's take the opportunity to delve back into our national news headlines. 2 suspected rhino poachers have died in a shootout at the Hluhluwe Mfolozi Park in KwaZulu-Natal. Environmental Affairs MEC Nomusa Dube said field staff had recently encountered 3 armed suspected rhino poachers. Heavy caliber hunting rifle as well as knives commonly used to remove rhino horns were recovered. Dube said one of the men killed was a well-known high-level rhino poacher. 28 rhinos have already been killed in the park this year. Then President Cyril Ramaphosa has moved quickly to allay any fears relating to the spread of the coronavirus, saying the government has everything under control. He said the government's main area of concern was the transport system, specifically taxi ranks, as well as informal settlements. The president said the National Command Centre, which he chairs, would make this its main focus. Random screening will be conducted at train stations and taxi ranks, as well as in the aviation sector. Late yesterday afternoon, the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in South Africa was 62. A little further afield on the international front, the first human trial of a vaccine to protect against the pandemic coronavirus started in the US yesterday. A group of 45 healthy volunteers took the jab at the Kaiser Permanente research facility in Seattle. The vaccine cannot cause COVID-19, but contains a harmless genetic code copied from the virus that causes the disease. Now, experts say it will still take many months to know if this vaccine or others also being researched will in fact work. Scientists around the world are fast-tracking for research. And the Swedish government plans to send up to 150 soldiers to Mali to support a French military initiative combining special force troops from different countries. The French initiative aims to have military special forces from several countries accompanying Malian troops into combat. The large, mainly desert West African nation ended a jihadist occupation of key northern towns in 2013 with French help, but the Islamist extremists remain highly active in the area. Swedish aid will consist of a helicopter-borne rapid reaction force of a maximum of 150 men. And now an item on Global Recycling Day. The importance that recycling plays in preserving the Earth's primary resources, including water, air, coal, oil, natural gas and minerals, is increasingly important. So Mother Earth is being abused by many of her inhabitants. Thus, the Global Recycling Foundation has created a special day to reiterate the importance of recycling plays. This year, the big day is tomorrow, with the theme Recycling Heroes. The foundation wishes to showcase all heroes, big and small, as well as cities and businesses who are championing innovative recycling practices. So why not let us know who your recycling heroes are? Since its launch in 2018, Global Recycling Day has reached more than 600 million people across the world. This year, its target is 1 billion people. That's where we leave our news for now. Let's get back into the sport. We start with rugby news. Members of the Springbok Sevens team and several members of the Springbok Under-20 squad are to be tested for the coronavirus. The Blitzboks recently competed in Los Angeles and Vancouver, where they would have come into contact with the Australian men's Sevens team, two of whom have now tested positive for the virus. A few players in the junior box squad who had travelled individually from clubs in Europe will also be tested. Then on to football. The Premier Soccer League matches scheduled to take place this week have been postponed. This includes the big fixtures between defending champions Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates, and then of course Kaizer Chiefs was scheduled to host Bidvest Wits. These matches, as well as 8 others scheduled for the weekend, have all been postponed. The PSL will hold a meeting this coming Thursday regarding any further decisions, including a potential suspension of the league for now. Then staying with football news, Manchester United's midfielder Bruno Fernandes, who's been a revelation since joining the club, was voted the English Premier League's Player of the Month for February. He beat the likes of Marcus Alonso, who of course plays for Chelsea, and Arsenal's Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. The 25-year-old Fernandes joined the Red Devils in January this year after leaving Portugal's Sporting Lisbon. He's bagged 2 goals against Everton and Watford and had 3 assists in the league since his debut. That's where we leave our sport for now. Let's see if the roads have woken up.
Thank you so much, G. It's just 4 minutes past 7. Let's take a first look at what's happening on the road this morning. Now, if you find yourself in Gauteng Midrand on the N1 southbound, there is bumper-to-bumper traffic from the Buccleuch interchange to Allendale. Now, please be on the lookout for this. Then moving down to Western Cape Kuils River, there has been a multi-vehicle accident on the N2 inbound after the R300. The left lane is obstructed, causing delays, so please be patient on the road this morning. And then lastly, on the Metro Rail Southern Line and Cape Flats Line, both the Southern and Cape Flats Line train service are temporarily suspended due to signal power failure at Salt River and Wynberg. Commuters are advised to make use of alternative transport this morning. That was a look at your 7 o'clock traffic. Here's a look at the weather. Well, I'm still here to give you the weather. We've asked you to send in your sunrise pictures this morning. Thank you so much to JP Malherba, who sent us the skyline from Robertson in the Western Cape, where you can expect times of sun and clouds with very warm temperatures reaching a maximum of 35 degrees. So you might want to stay hydrated today. Now, our regular photographer, Gary Aukamp, also sent us this dazzling sunrise from East London, where mostly cloudy and windy conditions can be expected, with a shower or thunderstorm in spots reaching a maximum of 25 degrees. Right now, though, let's take a look at the rest of the country. Now, high humidity coming through for you, Polokwane, today with a low of 13, peaking at 24 degrees. Umbombela, 15-23. And then if you find yourself in Pretoria, your range is 14 and 26. A northerly wind of 13 kilometers per hour can be expected for Johannesburg today with a low of 14 and a maximum of 23. Mahikeng, 15-25. And then thunder showers are expected for you, Klerksdorp, today with a low of 15, peaking at 24 degrees. Heavy rainfall coming through for Kimberley today with a low of 15 and a maximum of 23 as well. Bloemfontein, 12, 21. Richards Bay, 19, 26. And then if you find yourself in Pietermaritzburg, high humidity can be expected with a low of 14 and a high of 25. If you find yourself in South Africa's playground today, Durban, your minimum is 19 and your maximum is 25. Mthatha, 13, 24. And then a northeasterly wind of 33 kilometers per hour can be expected for you, East London, with a low of 19, peaking at 25. High humidity expected for Cradock today with a low of 16 and a maximum of 31. And then a northeasterly wind of 28 kilometers per hour for Port Elizabeth PE, ranging from 18 to 25. High humidity can also be expected for you, George, with 15 peaking at 26. And then the coolest start of the morning can be found in Sutherland with an all low of 9, peaking at 27. If you find yourself in the mother city, Cape Town today, your low is 16 and your max is 25. Worcester, 11, 32. Springbok, 10, 30. And then the highest temperature in the country can be found in Uppington with a low of 20 and a high of 32. Whatever the weather, wherever you find yourself, make sure that it's a feel-good kind of day.
Well, we're connecting with you from different parts of the country on this Tuesday morning. Earlier on, we were hanging out with Tsulopiri in Johannesburg, and right now, Kutle Adams is coming to us live from Camps Bay with our latest surf report. And later on, she'll be doing some exercise. Looking right and ready, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Kat. A very good morning to you, my beautiful Expresso family. I'm coming to you live from Camps Bay Tidal Pools this morning. And if you're looking to catch some waves this week, well, we are joined by professional big wave surfer Matt Bromley. How you doing?
Morning.
That's how we do it from now on, okay? And he's going to be giving us the best conditions for surfers this week. We're going to start with the basics, right? When did you decide to start surfing?
So I started surfing when I was 6 years old. My dad would take me down to Muizenberg every second weekend. Then we moved to Kommetjie when I was 12. That's when I dropped everything and just started surfing every day. Like, that's what surfing does to you. It gets you hooked, and that's like all you can think of and all you want to do, you know?
I mean, earlier on we were having such a fat chat about surfing and how you started off with competitions, and now the only thing that you do is obviously catch big waves. To put things into perspective, how big are these waves, and also how can you anticipate when a wave is coming?
So there's such incredible forecasting systems. So I'll start with that. Like, so basically I used to do the competitions, and now I spend my life, I wake up in the morning, I pull up the forecast, and you can spot the big systems all around the world where the big swells are going to be, and you can predict those about 10 days before they even hit the coast. Ooh. So I'll be watching for places like Tahiti and Hawaii and all over the world, and then when all the conditions look like they're going to produce big barreling waves, sometimes we're surfing in waves that are 50, 60 foot high.
What?
Then when all the elements come together, we'll book a ticket, I'll link up with a videographer and a photographer, and we will chase that swell. So we literally fly, we land a few days before it hits, and then we wax up our boards, and then we're out there.
It sounds so exciting, but so dangerous, Matt. So kudos to you for doing that. But this thing also it feels very light for such big waves that you just explained now. So for local surfers, what are the conditions looking like this week in terms of, you know, the surfing conditions in our nearby beaches?
So this week is going to be very light winds and small surf. Your best bet's probably going to be today, actually. There's like a nice moderate south swell coming in, so the waves will be coming into False Bay and into the Atlantic side. If you're looking for some small fun surf, I would say head over to Muizenberg. It's going to be nice and glassy conditions. And then if you're looking to up the level a little bit, head to places like Kommetjie, maybe Glen Beach, maybe Llandudno, and you'll get some fun head-high waves.
And in terms of the wind conditions, like, how's the wind looking like?
So the wind today is glassy and beautiful. It's quite rare to get that in Cape Town. So it's going to be producing some fun waves, but for the best waves, we're actually normally looking for wind, for offshore, that Cape Doctor, because that actually smoothens out our coast, because our ocean is so raw and unpredictable. We wake up and we wait for the wind to smoothen out the ocean. So we're going to get a little bit of offshore wind later in the afternoon, which is going to smoothen it out. So your best bet is probably going to be this afternoon.
And I know that earlier on, Matt said he needs to get me to the ocean and onto one of these to teach me how to swim. I mean, not to swim, to surf. Where's the best place for you to teach someone how to surf?
So Muizenberg is probably one of the best beaches in the world to surf.
In the world?
Yeah, because it's super slow breaking waves, it's shallow far to sea, it's very weak, and you've got all the time in the world to pop up to your feet and get your balance and make it happen, yeah.
And then where can people catch you to see all the action?
So people can follow me on my Instagram feed, Matt Bromley Surf, and you can follow my travels around the world.
Thank you so much for joining us on our Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's been such a pleasure getting to know you and interviewing you. That's Matt Bromley, everybody, and you can catch him on the socials. Well, for now, that's it from us right here from Camps Bay Tidal Pools. Back to you guys in studio.
Thank you so much, Kutle. Matt is a cool cat, man, and I just love how he's so blasé about like 50, 60-foot waves. But that's his life. That's what he does. And of course, Kutle will be taking us through a little bit of fitness with Cindy Abrams a little bit later, coming to you from the Camps Bay Tidal Pool. So we finally got our coffee organized. That's one major thing. Then, of course, we're going to continue a very important discussion after the break.
Yes, we're talking all things coronavirus. We do have the professionals here to answer any questions. So if you have any questions, head on over to our social media pages, Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. Let us know if you have any questions regarding the virus. But right now, we're going to take a quick break and we'll see you in a moment.
Rise and shine. There's no better way to wake up other than with Mackie D's for breakfast. Download the McDonald's app for delicious daily deals and start your day the right way.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is a Tuesday morning. Thank you very much for joining us at the start of a brand new day. Now, you'll all remember that on Sunday night, President Cyril Ramaphosa announced a national state of disaster in light of the coronavirus outbreak. And the number of cases in South Africa has now grown to over 60, and the president has imposed some very strict restrictions on citizens of the country. And to give us an update on the coronavirus and what we need to be doing to protect ourselves, we welcome infectious diseases specialist Dr. Emil Reed and family practitioner Dr. Leila Biku. Thank you very much for being with us this morning.
Morning, guys.
Morning, guys. Busy times, Emil. Busy times indeed.
Very busy.
Doc, maybe I can start with asking you a confirmation of the number of people that have been infected, and how is that number growing? Are we starting to see a South African curve that we can track yet?
Yes, I think round about 62 people are infected at this moment in time, and that's what we know of. And those people that were tested, we expect that to rise dramatically within the next day or two and weeks, and especially while tracing of those people that were in contact with the cases get tested. So we expect it to rise.
Yeah.
And it's important because we knew it was coming to our shores, and we've been talking about it for months, and now it's finally here. So prevention is not an option at this moment in time, but containment is what we need to focus on right now.
I read quite an interesting statistic on social media that for every one person that gets tested and tests positive, there's a potential of 10 other people that actually should be tested, but that perhaps maybe don't know it. So that's something to contemplate. Let's talk about the symptoms and the complications that the coronavirus can cause. Some people have likened it to the common flu. So let's talk also about how different it is.
Well, I think it's completely different.
Yeah.
Because number one, you can have an array of different symptoms, mild flu-like symptoms, to complete respiratory distress and respiratory failure. And whereas the common flu usually infect the young ones, the coronavirus complicates especially the elderly, above the age of 60, 65, and in particularly those people with already existing lung disease, like post-TB bronchiectasis, like interstitial pulmonary fibrosis, and also people living with diabetes mellitus, of which South Africa has extremely high numbers.
I was going to say, with post-TB, I mean, these are all things that are commonly spoken about in South Africa. How long does it take for the symptoms to start to exhibit? How long is the incubation period, and when are you likely to see symptoms?
Normally we find that after an exposure, it takes between 2 and 12 days for people to develop symptoms. And the problem is that these symptoms are usually so mild that people don't bother getting tested. And that's the problem. And only if they really become ill, they get tested.
Yeah.
So the big thing is for us to state that if you have been exposed and if you have been to a high-risk country in the last 2 weeks, or you have returned from one, and you develop even mild flu-like symptoms, please get tested. Because if we don't test, we're not going to be able to trace, and we're not going to be able to contain this disease.
Yeah. Dr. Leila, if I could ask for your input in this. Over the weekend, speaking to a few friends, I heard someone saying that young children are immune to the coronavirus. Let's quickly just bust that myth.
So young children are not immune to the virus. There have just been lower case incidences of children contracting it, and also children seem to be having the milder forms of it. They are not, however, immune, so they can still get the virus firstly as well as spread.
Yeah.
And that's why schools are closing.
Another question I have, having a look at that graphic that we showed earlier on regarding the symptoms, when do you kind of go, okay, this symptom that I'm experiencing is as a result of a potential exposure to the virus, and therefore I need to get tested or seek medical attention, or there might be something in the immediate environment that I'm in that is causing that? Like, for instance, when I was talking to you early on, there seemed to be something in the air, and I coughed, but it was a singular cough, and I don't want to be, you know, alarming people around me.
When does the psychosomatic element
and people like making, you know, like making light of the situation. Whenever somebody sneezes or coughs, oh, hey, corona kind of thing.
We almost have to.
So when do you take it seriously, Dr. Biku? Let me start off with you first, and we'll go to Dr. Reed.
All right, so yes, you're going to have like your usual coughs and sneezes, like if you smell something or like a plant that's going to make your nose a little itchy. Those are things that can happen. But I think, firstly, how do you feel? Do you feel ill? It's a subjective feeling of, are you feeling ill? Are you presenting other symptoms? And then, obviously, if the symptoms persist, then going to speak, calling your GP up, you know, calling your nearest clinic, and then asking them for advice.
Just very quickly before we're going to continue this discussion, what is the first step once we have identified flu-like symptoms that we feel, okay, we need to get tested? Who do we speak to?
So there are a number of ways. So you can either call your GP your local GP and ask them for advice. You could call your nearest emergency centre. There is a Western Cape hotline that you can call. There's a WhatsApp line that you can also message on for the Western Cape government. There's the NICD hotline. So there are a number of telephonic portals available for you to ask for advice.
I think the important thing is people should not go to the emergency rooms or go to the offices of the doctor, especially because they can infect other individuals. And the other thing, I've been on call now for the last week and at hospital, and it was absolutely chaotic because people forget that we are heading towards winter. We have flu being around, we have allergies around, and we also have other diseases in the Western Cape like tuberculosis that are around. And yet people are worried about COVID-19 only, and the rest of the history gets neglected.
Okay, well, we're going to take a brief pause on this conversation, but we do encourage you to connect with us on social media, Expresso Morning Show SABC3. Throw your questions at us in the comments, post, and we'll refer them to the doctors in our next segment.
Well, it's turning out to be quite a jam-packed Tuesday here on your Feel Good Breakfast show. With so much going on, and Kuhle is still on standby out at the Camps Bay tidal pools to talk about how to prevent injuries when you're exercising. Kuhle Adams, what have you got?
Uncle Tabsy, you know we're all about promoting general health and physical activity on the show. But starting off your day like that, voluntarily, I don't know who would, but I guess it's one of the best ways, right, to start your morning with just a morning swim.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. Now, as I've said, that we're all about general physical activities on the show and sporting activities as well. But then that also comes with its own risks, such as injuries on the sporting field or even pulling a ligament while you're running around the block. Now we are joined this morning by physiotherapist Wimpy van der Maiden, who's going to be chatting to us about the importance of working out and how common these injuries can be. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
How common are exercise and training related injuries?
Obviously, if you ask a physio, we'll say it's very common. But the prevalence of injuries has increased in the last couple of years, and that is due to the fact that more people and society has become more aware of exercising and being healthy.
And what are the most common injuries that you as a physiotherapist have been faced with?
So the most common injuries we normally see are either muscle or ligament strains and sprains. And this is normally due to overloading or aggressive overloading. So aggressive overloading is when you put too much pressure on a joint or on a muscle too quickly.
And then what is the best way to prevent these kinds of injuries from happening and from reoccurring?
Okay, so prevention, as you said, is always better than cure. There's a couple of different methods we can do. The first thing is progressive overloading. So overloading is a good thing. That's how we get stronger. So if I pick up a weight that's a 10 kg and I can do it 10 times, I need to do it 12 times to get stronger. But if I go and try to do it 20 times, that's when I get injured. So to progressively overload a joint or a muscle, that is how you get stronger. And if you do it progressively, you'll prevent injuries. The other way, of course, is your normal stretching activities and mobility drills to ensure that the muscle is ready to do the certain movement that you require it to do.
So basically training your muscle to kind of get used to the kgs that you're referring to currently.
Yeah, external stresses we call it.
External stretches. And stresses, sorry.
No problem.
And in Wimpy, for example, if I don't want to experience a sporting injury or pulling a ligament if I'm running around the block, what can I do before, taking part in physical activities?
Sure. So we'll normally say to anybody that's going to do a physical activity to get the muscles warmed up first. So that can be a 5-minute quick or an easy jog just to get warmed up. And then, of course, your stretches. So there's different types of stretches, and to give you two of them, the first one is a dynamic stretch, and a dynamic stretch is when I actually move the muscle through a range actively, all right? And that we do before exercise, and the reason for that is static stretches, which we want to do later on or after an exercise, decreases muscle activity. So if you decrease your muscle activity before you start a training exercise, you're not really going to do
or give your best in that training or performance. So a dynamic stretch, move the muscle through range of motion, get it warmed up, and afterwards then you can do your static stretch, which is your old stretch we used to do at school where you will hold the stretch for ages.
Yes.
So we say 30 seconds 3 times. That's your static stretch you do afterwards.
I remember those stretches, and I used to hate them. But
small little circles.
Yes, yes. But as you've mentioned, they are important to kind of prevent all of this from happening. And injuries are not fun to deal with. And if you have experienced these injuries, make sure to visit a professional such as our physiotherapist. Wimpy over here, thank you so much for joining us here on our Feel Good Breakfast Show. I hope that we have taught you a little something before you get on with your daily workouts today.
Thank you so much, Kutle. We are going to continue our very important discussion around the coronavirus. Dr. Emil Reid and family practitioner Dr. Leila Biku here to answer your questions. And thank you so much. You have connected with us on social media. What are the people asking?
Absolutely. Some of the comments we've gotten through from Marceline here saying, as a teacher in a private school, I'll be stressing daily about the children who need extra support as they continue to work at home. Our holiday only starts in 3 weeks. Of course, we know that from this Wednesday, schools will be shutting down. But of course, she expressing her concern about her children that she teaches who will be needing that extra support. Then Vusi, author, saying, good morning, my best team. To be honest with you, the coronavirus has affected my life in a lot of ways because I can't continue my motivational tour and promoting both of my books in various provinces. That has been a pretty immediate impact, especially for a lot of freelance workers all across the board, not just in the entertainment industry, cancellation and postponements of engagements that have come around. Juanita saying, I still have to work while all is closing down, but glad that you guys are still here. Don't care what you guys do in the morning. Just please don't go unless you have to. Well, we'll try our very best to keep on bringing forth the Feel Good on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Thank you very much for those comments, Juanita.
Well, luckily, we have the advantage of being able to bring the experts a little bit closer to us to ask very important questions, and we are most importantly focused on spreading the right kind of information.
Yes.
I think all of us have some pretty obvious questions. How exactly, and maybe this is something that has been answered in the media, but how is the virus spread? You can start thinking about that. We're going to be joining this conversation after a very quick break. Keep posting those comments and those questions about coronavirus. We'll try to answer as many as we can.
With your support, we are now able to donate 20,000 pairs of Smart Step school shoes to children in need. Celebrate goodness when you buy a Crush. Dial the number on the pack for a chance to win your share of cash prizes and school fees. Crush, share the goodness.
Welcome back. It's a Tuesday morning on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We continue our conversation regarding the coronavirus/COVID-19, the steps that are being taken in South Africa. And of course, we try to inform you as best as we can with verified information about what you can do. And that's why we bring in the experts. We've got Dr. Emile Reed, infectious diseases specialist, as well as family practitioner, Dr. Leila Biku, joining us in conversation again.
And Emile, we appreciate the fact that you are here because you are really busy at the moment. I know that this affects you in a very direct way. I asked you before the break if we could delve a little deeper into how the virus is actually spread and some of the major risk factors.
I think the important thing is people think that this virus is spread in the air. And there's a huge difference between droplet spread, being aerosolized, and being airborne. You know, and if you have droplet spread, as is the case with COVID-19, it means that if I, for instance, talk or cough or any droplets from my mouth or nose sort of goes out of my mouth, it actually stabilizes after about a meter and then sort of goes down, which means if we keep distance from one another, I cannot infect you. So people doesn't have to wear a mask in order to protect them or actually to protect them from spreading it because it's close by. If you have people working in a hospital, physiotherapists, nurses working on a patient that is isolated in a room, usually we give them nebulizations, which mean they will cough, and then it becomes sort of aerosolized. And in those cases, it can spread slightly further, hence the reason for healthcare providers to wear masks. So masks should not be worn outside, people walking around the street. And then airborne is something completely different, because airborne means I cough and the wind will blow it and it will spread all over the show, which is not the case for COVID-1. So we know it is droplet spread, which means that distancing ourselves from one another can actually prevent it from being transmitted. So those people on the flight sitting next to you, those are the people
that's
that
close proximity, of course. So we've had reports of deaths and the infection. So let's talk about the death and infection ratio. And the big question perhaps from some people is, why are some people dying? Why are some people recovering?
Mild symptoms.
Mild symptoms, and some of them completely recovering. Let's talk about that and also focus on the elderly as a risk
So
group.
there you have to look at what your risk factors are. So if you're just a generally healthy person, younger person, you are most likely just going to get milder symptoms. So the people that are developing more severe types of the disease are your elderly patients, so patients over the age of 65, patients that have any cardiovascular complications or heart complications, respiratory complications, be it asthma, any acute lung pathologies, cancers in the lungs, cancers actually anywhere in the body, decreases your immune system. So those are the patients that are more at risk, the patients who have a decreased immune system. The death ratio that you're asking me about, at the moment, the ratio is about 2% of people that are infected. So it's quite a low ratio as compared to the global amount of people that are being infected. But it does affect the elderly more than the young.
If I've contracted it, because a large number, well over hundreds of thousands now, we're moving into that space. Can I contract it again? Do I build up an immunity to it? Are we starting to, will we see a natural immunity start to develop within populations that have had it?
We are actually looking at it. And I've been speaking to people about it, and I've been looking at what the WHO is currently doing, and they're doing the research to see whether people develop antibodies against it, whether people develop a natural resistance against it. And at this moment in time, we don't know. Because the cases have been around for the last 3 months, and at this point in time, the research have not been conducted or completed where they can actually tell us whether we develop antibodies or not, or whether the virus is mutating. We call it shifting and drifting. Hence the reason for flu just to come back annually, because the virus changes all the time. We actually don't have that information at this point in time.
But all the information that we do have, of course, points us to better hygiene practices, washing our hands, coughing in your elbow, and, of course, social distancing as well. When we come back with the doctors, I'd like to ask a question about whether improving your own immune system might actually prevent you from contracting the virus in the first place. I'm trying to find myself in a space where the terminology that I use when I'm speaking to people about this is absolutely correct. And, of course, if you have any questions that you'd like to ask, link up with us on our social media pages. Expresso Morning Show SABC3 is where we are on Facebook. Please throw those questions at us. That's why we bring in the experts for your convenience and to have your questions answered.
It's still Healthy Tuesdays here on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Kuhle Adams is still out at Camps Bay Tidal Pools, who's talking about stretching and what it does for your body. She's with Wimpy, so let's check that out.
Not trying to fall. Now we are back right here at Camps Bay Tidal Pool with physiotherapist Wimby van der Meiden. Now, the conversation that we had earlier on was all about trying to prevent any kind of injuries from physical activity or from exercises. And warming up is as important as the workout itself. What kind of exercises are we going to be doing now?
Okay, so I'm quickly just going to show you a quick mobility drill. That's like a dynamic stretch, as I said. This mobility drill will just touch base on every muscle, just warm it up, just activate it, and take you through those ranges of motion.
All right, so what are we starting with?
Right, so our first movement in the sequence of movements will be a small squat. So you'll go into a squat, we hold everything for 3 seconds just to get it activated. 1, 2, 3. After that, we will go into our pose where we push onto our shoulders backwards to get those muscle stretches. So push back with your shoulders. 1, 2, 3. Now alternating hand towards my leg. I'm getting my hamstring in. 1, 2, 3, and the other leg. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to give our back a nice big stretch. So straighten out that back, keep your shoulders tucked in. 1, 2, 3, and we go back into our squat.
And then, Wimpy, are there like specific warm-up exercises for specific exercises or sporting activities?
So if you are going to do exercises specifically for your shoulders or for your arms, you would want to activate that shoulders or muscles before an exercise. For instance, if I was going to do weights for my chest, I would like to do a couple of push-ups beforehand. Okay. Nice stretch, push your shoulders through. Here we go, 1, 2, 3, come back up.
I feel like I'm feeling it all over my actual body. What kind of muscles are we activating here?
Okay, so we're doing quite a global exercise routine or mobility drill, and that is to ensure that we actually activate everything. So this is something very nice to do before a functional fitness or a CrossFit exercise type of thing, where you are activating or training most of your muscles at the same time. Good.
Don't forget to breathe.
Yeah. Okay, we're quickly going to do our insides or our adductors. So we're going to take a big step through or kneel down. You want to keep control with the knee. 1, 2, 3, and we alternate into the other one.
So the key to warming up is basically doing an exercise and holding for a few seconds.
Just to activate those muscles and then get a stretch at the same time.
I can literally feel it on my thighs. Oh, and I hope that you guys at home are also joining me in all of this before you get your day started. I think it's also just the best way to kind of start any day, actually.
Okay, the last one is a nice one that they use in Pilates training.
All right.
And it's just activating the whole vertebra and then getting the hamstring firing at the same time. So we'll take a nice deep breath in and try and touch our toes, breathing out. Going down vertebra for vertebra. 1, 2, 3. When we come back, spine, you want to bring the vertebra back slowly, and we do it again. And down. Hold it for 3, and slowly back up. And we can do one more. Down, back up, and slowly back up. All right? Then we can do the sides. We've done the insides, we can do the outsides. So you step over your leg, you bring the other one behind you, you straighten the bottom leg, push down through your side.
Woo!
Okay, and you want to feel a nice stretch on your side and into your glute medius. 1, 2, 3, take a break. Another 3 seconds. Okay,
This one seems a little complicated while I try to figure out my poses and what I'm stretching exactly. Thank you so much, Vimpy, for joining us this morning, for showing us exactly how to warm up our muscles before any kind of physical activity or sporting activity. Now, that's it from us right here at Camps Bay Tidal Pools. See you guys a little later on.
Oh, you've got to love it. Kuhle putting in the work live from Camps Bay Tidal Pools out there with Vimpy. Thank you very much. Letting us in on all of the benefits of stretching in the morning and getting your day started the right way.
I don't know why. Do you suddenly feel like you need to stretch after that?
I've been stretching. I've been stretching.
Well, listen, let's quickly let you in on the benefits of this little thing that we have in front of us. Thanks very much to Nicole in our kitchen, who's been like a mama bear to us, providing us with these, can we call them health shots, immune boosting shots made with ginger, freshly squeezed, as well as freshly squeezed lemon, which I got confirmation from Dr. Biku that this is a great way to boost your immune system, although you need to have it fresh. As fresh as possible. Don't make it and then let it stand for a while, because that, you know, the vitamin C then dissipates over a while.
So you
all those
can't
beautiful
prep it and
terminology
put it in the fridge?
No. Make it fresh.
Okay,
Make it fresh every day. So
Okay.
we're going to have our health shot. Do you guys want to nominate yourself?
I'll get whichever one. I'll get this one.
Oh, go. Yeah, and we're gonna share it with the crew as well. I'm gonna leave mine here.
Let's keep everybody strong and healthy around the
So we'll make some for everyone else. Don't worry, guys. We're not leaving you guys behind.
So it's just ginger
if you want one.
and freshly squeezed lemon. So this is easy to make at home as well. You can get the ginger and the fresh, some lemon as well from your local supermarket. Kat, where are you?
Here I am. I haven't gone too far. Wait, did you like temporarily go blind?
Cheers. To health. To health. We'll see you guys after this. Go make yourself a shot.
Looking for immune support? Remain at your peak all year round with Immuenza.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Yes, we are all well and feeling great after those health shots. That was a big one. I wasn't quite ready for it. I didn't realize how potent Nicole had made it. But listen, do link up with us on our social media platforms. We're talking coronavirus. We're talking COVID-19. And, of course, we welcome all of your questions. We've got Dr. Emile Reid and Dr. Leila Biku joining us to answer all of your questions on social media. Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. So let's take a look at those comments that have come through. The first from Ramika, who says, when you are in quarantine at home, how do you treat the situation? What medication is required? Great question, Ramika. Thank you very much. Who'd like to take that, doctors? Okay. Dr. Reid passing it on. Dr. Biku.
So, by quarantine, does this person mean they have COVID and they're being quarantined for that reason? And then I think medication would need to be guided by your healthcare provider. If somebody is just what we call in self-isolation or social distancing at home, then just things like your immune boosters, keeping healthy with your multivitamins. There's no medication that you can really take to prevent yourself from getting COVID-19. So I think we just need to make that distinction between the two.
I think it's so important, especially when we're talking about things of this magnitude, to get the terminology right.
Yeah, well, certainly from our perspective, because we're connecting to so many people in that space.
Yeah.
Do you just wait it out? Do you go back for regular testing? Do you...
What is this? If you develop it, or
if you have developed it and you're now being quarantined.
So there is a protocol that the NICD has put in place with a flow diagram on how the healthcare providers will be treating you. And if you do have COVID, your healthcare provider will follow that protocol.
Okay.
I think Dr. Gil
Yeah,
probably elaborate.
and I think the nice example we had was the cases in Nigeria, where what they did was to put people that were positive in quarantine, trace the contacts, and they did serial testing, PCR testing for the virus, in order to decide when they are not shedding the virus anymore and when they are not infectious. And they found that after about 13 days, the test came back negative, which actually tells us that the 14 days of quarantine, if you are positive and tested positive for COVID, is more than enough to self-quarantine as well.
Okay. Which is manageable. So, Geraldine weighing in with this comment or question, if we can bring that back up again. Speaking about the abundance of information around, the prevention methods, but what we can do to better prepare ourselves for recovery. What can we do? Is there something we can do?
I think at the moment it's just making sure that you are staying healthy. So getting enough exercise if you are healthy enough to do so, taking your multivitamins, taking your necessary precautions. So staying in the best possible state of health that you can at the moment.
Let's take another question that came in from Chantal Kirsten, who says, how can we be expected to get tested if we have flu symptoms and they're charging 1,400 Rand to do the test? People don't have that kind of money. If this is so serious, then why are these tests not free? Very, very valid question.
Well, I think it's an important question. And it depends on where you actually go for your test. If you go through the COVID hotline, for instance, I mean, they will either send people to come and do the test on you, or will arrange to do the test at a different venue, which means that it's for free. And if people are requesting the test just because they want to know, obviously you will have to pay. And what the WHO and the Department of Health in South Africa has done, they actually have all the different laboratories, whether it's PathCare, Ampath, whatever, available in order to provide people with testing, that we don't run into trouble because we are using the National Health Lab only to provide testing. So if the request is valid and there's a high risk of the person being positive, you don't have to go through the private sector in order to do it. So not everybody that have a test needs to pay for it.
A couple of very important numbers for you to maybe jot down and have handy with you, as you can see it on the screen right now. 0800 029 999. That is an emergency hotline over there. There's also a coronavirus support group WhatsApp line that you can jot down. 060 012 3456, and there is also a website, www.sacoronavirus.co.za. That is an information portal for you to have all of your questions answered.
And the right channel to follow if you need to be tested, if you feel that you have been within that high-risk space or come into contact with someone who presents a risk, that will avoid, obviously, paying the 1,400 Rand that was stated. But we're going to get into more regarding travel and preventative matters. We are talking COVID-19. We are talking the coronavirus with our expert panel. We'll continue in a moment.
Welcome back. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's a Tuesday morning, and of course on Tuesday mornings we speak all things health, and of course with a particular focus on the coronavirus and COVID-19 this morning. Dr. Emil Reid and Dr. Leila Biku join us to discuss some very, very important notes to keep in mind. We've shared some very important lines, which we'll continue to do so.
And
of
we'll
course,
keep them up on our
coronavirus.coza, that website that you need to keep in mind if you're looking for any information for any questions you might have.
And it's a great place to start because there are dedicated professionals on the line that can kind of guide you through that process, that might allay your fears, because I think that's the big thing here is we are fighting our fear. Even as we've been talking about this, I can feel my breath shortening and my brow sweating, and that's just the nature of that's human nature. So we don't want to spread fear, but we need to speak with the right tone to make sure that we have action. Our president said that the relevant, important measures are being put in place in accordance with the WHO and other various international bodies. As professionals working in this space, are we doing it right? Are the right measures in place? Is there anything you would change? Emil?
There is no doubt that the measures are in place. And I think we have learned a lot from the experiences of China, experiences in the UK, USA, and there's no way we should underestimate this virus. So the measures that have been put in place by our president, well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
The question that I did ask you earlier on, Emil, was the timing, because a lot of people in the days preceding to the president's address were criticizing him on the fact that there was not enough communication, perhaps too much silence in the space of government in addressing what measures we would take.
Yes.
In your experience, was this the right kind of approach? I'm not sure if I'm putting you on the spot answering that question. You are allowed to say.
I actually believe it was exactly the correct way of doing things.
Yeah.
I think the important thing was, if you come out and you speak about it, that it must be evidence-based, it must be factual, and it must be the truth. And the important thing, that is the reason why our president discussed it with his advisory board, with people involved with research, with various experts before addressing the nation. So it was definitely worth the wait, and I think the timing was impeccable.
And he's put himself at the head of that task team as well, which he hasn't palmed that off to one of his ministers. He's actually staying front and centre. Travel. It's affected all of us. I've already had a couple of engagements cancelled. The SAFTAs have been cancelled.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you know, I've got a baby coming, family wanting to come out from the UK. That's been put off, cancelled. How long are we likely to see these travel restrictions stay in place? And how, from your understanding of the situation, maybe even your intuition in this space, how long should we avoid travelling locally and abroad?
At the moment, I think we should wait until the caseload starts decreasing and then make a decision on that. I think it's quite premature at this stage to just give a an answer on that. This virus is ever evolving, so we don't know what the numbers are going to look like. Yeah. We need to at least just give it time, and I think maybe postpone things for the year and see how things go.
Yeah.
And I believe, I agree 100% with Leila that we should take it one day at a time, and we are actually only starting off with this epidemic at this moment in time in South Africa, and that one should not forecast anything. But what we can say, if we contain it now and we all stand in solidarity with regards to the message that we are spreading all over the country, it should actually be sooner rather than later that we can continue what we've been doing all the time. So the better we work together, I cannot say take hands, but stand in solidarity, the better it is for everybody.
Do the presidential dab.
Exactly, exactly.
Let's look at some of the comments that have come through on social media on Expresso Morning Show SABC3. Letitia David says, morning, I had pneumonia 4 years ago. Am I highest risk for coronavirus as a result?
The answer is no. Because if that pneumonia was a pneumonia in a healthy individual, normally after about 4 weeks after treating the pneumonia, you are fully recovered. But if there was a specific reason or an underlying lung disease or a chronic lung disease or a chronic immunological problem, obviously the risk is then much higher. But having an isolated pneumonia 4 years ago, you are not at high risk to get COVID-19.
All right, another comment that came through in a question on our social media pages, Expresso Morning Show SABC3 from Bev Stephen. Is it wise to greet someone by touching elbows when we're being advised to cough or sneeze into our elbows? Hey, Bev, you saw it. You went right into it. Well done on that question.
I mean, what I would maybe suggest is, can you scratch your face with your elbow?
Yeah.
And it's not a challenge.
I'm sure
that's
a social media challenge right there.
Not a hashtag challenge.
Please don't try it if you can.
But I guess the answer then is it is safe to do so because it's about that contact with your face. That's why we're being advised to not touch our eyes, our noses, and our mouths.
And I've realised, as I've spoken to you, I've probably touched my face about 10 times. It's part of my nature. I didn't realise I did it so much. In that same vein, wearing gloves, is it actually protecting you? Because the gloves surely can transfer just as easily as your skin.
You're touching your face with your gloves on. It's exactly the same as touching your hands on a surface and then touching.
So unless if you're using those gloves for a particular task, touching a surface, then disposing of them immediately, you can't wear a set of gloves for an entire day and expect for there not to be any potential.
And the same holds true for wearing a mask. I mean, certain masks last an hour, certain masks can last 11 hours, and as soon as you cough into it, you need to take it off, and then there's a specific technique for you to take it off as well, because you cannot touch the inside of the mask when taking it off. And then you have to discard it and wash your hands immediately. So that is why we are not advising everybody to walk around with a mask outside.
All right. We got another comment coming through on social media. I think this is from Melanie Ann Stanley, who says, "Morning, fam. Hey, what happens to the baby if a pregnant mother contracts the virus?"
That is a very difficult question, and that is a question that we've been struggling with. And the simple answer is we don't know at this point in time.
Because I've heard of a case in the UK where it has been transferred to the baby, but again, you don't know the full circumstances of why and how.
So at this point, the studies are ongoing with regards to pregnant women, kids, as we discussed earlier, and then people living with HIV, especially in South Africa. So the current answer is we don't know.
Earlier on, I was speaking to one of my colleagues on set about having your body healthy in terms of your immune system being strong and that being almost like an immediate barrier of prevention from contracting the virus and developing COVID-19. How true is that? If your immune system is strong, are you automatically okay?
So...
I'm sorry, we have put you on the spot about 10 times this morning, but we need to know.
So yes, it does protect you. If you stay nice and healthy, if you are making sure that you are in, like I said, your best possible healthy state, it is going to protect you. So make sure that you're staying healthy, you're getting your exercise in, you are eating healthily, you are moving your body. So make sure that you take time out every day to exercise and get your vitamins in.
Absolutely.
Do what you should be doing every day, normally. It is the new normal, and that's what we've been trying to understand and come to terms with. Thank you so much. You guys have been absolutely amazing this morning. Thank you for bringing a wealth of information, but I certainly feel a lot better. And hopefully you at home have had some vital questions answered. But the most important thing to know is that there are helplines, there are resources for information. Don't panic. Phone, speak to someone. The number to dial, the WhatsApp line that you can use, 060-012-3456, or you can go sacoronavirus.co.za as a starting point. Speak to a health professional. If you've come into contact with someone that you know has contracted the virus, then you do need to be tested. But at the moment, it looks like the best bet is to stay healthy and to self-isolate to as much as possible. But it's going to be a lonely year, but we can get through it.
Exactly.
It's just gone after 8 o'clock. Time for us to take a final look at the news headlines. As the number of confirmed cases of the coronavirus in South Africa continues to rise, store shelves were running empty yesterday as scores of people hustled to buy supplies in bulk. Most people rushed to buy hand-washing products, long shelf-life foods and multivitamin pills. Meanwhile, the markets once again took a pounding yesterday, with the JSE Africa All-Share Index falling as much as 11.09% in the afternoon trade. The COVID-19 crash has already wiped out a 2.3 trillion rands on the South African stock market. Two suspected rhino poachers have died in a shootout at the Hluhluwe Infolozi Park in KwaZulu-Natal. Environmental Affairs MEC Nomusa Dube-Ncube said field staff had recently encountered 3 armed suspected rhino poachers. A heavy caliber hunting rifle as well as knives commonly used to remove rhino horns were recovered at the scene. Dube-Ncube said one of the men killed was a well-known high-level rhino poacher. 28 rhinos have already been killed in the park this year. In international headlines, police in Kenya have arrested a 23-year-old man for publishing false information on the spread of the coronavirus. Elijah Kitonyo was arrested for claiming that the government gave misleading details on the first confirmed case of coronavirus in the country. The tweet on a fake account claimed that the patient was originally from Rome in Italy and not the United States via London, as stated by the government. Kitonyo can be fined $50,000 or face imprisonment for a term of 10 years or both. The first human trial of a vaccine to protect against the pandemic coronavirus started in the US yesterday. A group of 45 healthy volunteers took the jab at the Kaiser Permanente Research Facility in Seattle. The vaccine cannot cause COVID-19 but contains a harmless genetic code which is copied from the virus that causes the disease. Experts say it will still take many months to know if this vaccine or others also being researched will work. Scientists around the world are fast-tracking research. And now for some news about Gift of the Givers. In these trying times, Gift of the Givers, always working for the good during times of trouble, now wish to assist medical staff who are in the front line of the battle against COVID-19 in South Africa and have called all South Africans to action. The organization has launched a campaign on the donations-based crowdfunding platform Back a Buddy, and they hope to raise $2 million. Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman, founder of Gift of the Givers, says that the campaign has been set up to support the doctors, nurses and medical staff that work in the RCUs and high care units across medical facilities in South Africa to help buy the equipment and supplies needed for them to do the vital work which they do. We wish them luck and the very best of luck indeed. In turning our gaze to the world of entertainment, anxiety is a theme that's running the world over these days. And the daughter of mega famous Hollywood actors Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, I'm talking about Willow, she recently staged a performance art piece where she locked herself in a box for 24 hours to enact the 8 stages of anxiety. This was all in the build-up for the release of her latest album, The Anxiety. We'll have more on that later in our full entertainment report. Now time for us to take a look at a final report on sport.
Thanks so much, Tabiso. Let's kick it off with rugby. Members of the Springbok Sevens team and several members of the Springbok Under-20 squad are to be tested for the coronavirus. Blitzboks, of course, recently competed in Los Angeles and Vancouver, where they would have come into contact with the Australian men's sevens team, 2 of whom have now tested positive for the virus. And a few players in the junior box squad who had travelled individually from clubs in Europe will also be tested. On to football. The Premier Soccer League matches scheduled to take place this week have been postponed. This includes the big fixtures between defending champions Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates. Then Kaizer Chiefs were scheduled to host Bidvest Wits. These matches, as well as 8 encounters scheduled for the weekend, have been postponed. The PSL will be holding a meeting on Thursday regarding any further decisions, including a potential suspension of the league for now. And staying with football, Manchester United midfielder Bruno Fernandes, who's been a sensation since joining the club, has been voted the English Premier League's Player of the Month for February. He beat the likes of Marcos Alonso, who plays for Chelsea, and Arsenal's Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. 25-year-old Fernandes joined the Red Devils in January this year after leaving Portugal's Sporting Lisbon. He's bagged 2 goals against Everton and Watford and had 3 assists in the league since his debut. That's a wrap of your sport for this Tuesday morning. Let's take one last look at the roads.
Thank Thank you so much, G. The time now is 6 minutes past 8 o'clock. It's your final look at what's happening on the roads this morning. Now, if you find yourself in Gauteng, Sandton, there is congestion on the N1 northbound between 14th Avenue and Rivonia Road. Now, the average traveling speed is 35 kilometers per hour with delays up to 17 minutes. So please be patient on the road this morning. Moving on down to the Western Cape Goodhood on the M7 northbound, there is congestion between the R102 and the Wingfield interchange. Now, the average traveling speed is 10 kilometers per hour with delays up to 13 minutes, so please allow for an extended travel time. And then lastly, on the Metro Rail Northern Line, there will be an extended travel time of about 60 minutes on the Northern Line due to signal power failure at Maitland and Salt River. Please make use of an alternative transport between Cape Town and Mutual in both directions. That's where we leave your traffic. Here's a final look at the weather. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning, and as always, we've asked you to send in your sunrise pictures this morning. Thank you so much to Joan Cameron for your beautiful blue skyline from Britannia Bay in the Western Cape, as well as Verity Herbert for your delightful orange sunrise from Rubik West, as well as JP Malherbe for your skyline from Robertson here in the Western Cape as well. And then last but definitely not least, our regular photographer, Gary Aukamp, for your dazzling sunrise from East London. We love seeing those pictures. It puts a smile on our face every morning. But right now, let's take a look at the temperatures for the rest of the country. Starting off in Polokwane, high humidity can be expected for you, ranging from 13, peaking at 24 degrees. If you find yourself in Umbombela, your low is 15 with a maximum of 23. Pretoria, 14, 26. And then a northerly wind of 13 kilometers per hour can be expected for you, Johannesburg, with a low of 14 and a high of 23. Mahikeng, 15, 25, and then thunder showers are also expected for Klerksdorp today with a low of 15 and a high of 24. Heavy rainfall coming through for Kimberley, ranging from 15, peaking at 23. Bloemfontein, 12, 21. Richards Bay, 19, 26. And then high humidity can be expected for Pietermaritzburg as well, with a low of 14 and a high of 25. If you find yourself in South Africa's playground today, Durban, your low is 19, peaking at 25. In Mthatha, it's 13, 24. And then a northeasterly wind of 33 kilometers per hour for you, East London, with a low of 19, peaking at 25. High humidity can also be expected for Cradock, ranging from 16 to 31 degrees, and then a northeasterly wind of 28 kilometers per hour for Port Elizabeth PE with a low of 18 and a maximum of 25. High humidity coming through for George today, ranging from 15 to 26 as well. And then the cooler start to the morning can be found in Sutherland with a low of 9 and a high of 27. If you do find yourself in the mother city, Cape Town today, your low is 16 and your high is 25. Worcester's low is 11, peaking at 32. Springbok is 10 with a maximum of 30. And then last but not least, the highest temperature in the country can be found in Uppington with a low of 20, peaking at 32. But of course, go out there, make someone smile. It is a beautiful Tuesday indeed.
It is indeed. Thanks very much for that weather report, Jamie Lee Domberg. Right now, we're about to connect with Tulu Piri all the way in Johannesburg, and we're talking a very important thing.
Yes, it's the emotional implications of the coronavirus. That's the conversation that's going on all over the place. Tulu, take it away.
Thank you very much, Tabzi. Now, on Saturday, we all breathed a sigh of relief when it was announced that certain measures would be put in place to tackle the coronavirus outbreak here in South Africa. But just as quickly as we breathed a sigh of relief, we noticed the implications that these measures are going to have on our everyday lives. Workspaces are encouraging their employees to work from home and self-quarantine. Events, concerts have been cancelled or postponed. And of course, schools will be on shutdown. Today's topic, we are discussing coronavirus, and we want to know from you, what are the emotional implications of the global coronavirus pandemic? And to help us discuss this topic, we have our relationship expert, Paula Quincy, with us in studio. And like I said, we want to hear from you. We want to know your comments, your questions. You can engage on us on our Facebook page. It is Expresso Morning Show on SABC3, and we will engage with you live if you drop a comment underneath this post. A very good morning to you, Paula.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
It's lovely to have you. It's been a very anxious 2 weeks, not only in South Africa, but around the world with this global pandemic that is the coronavirus. Besides the fear of contracting the virus itself, I mean, what are the emotional implications of people having to self-quarantine and self-isolate? Why does it give people so much fear and so much anxiety?
Yeah, so generally we don't cope well with change, and so this has now just put our whole worlds upside down in terms of our normal routines, our normal daily life, particularly people that don't cope well with change and need time to prepare. This has just been thrown on us, and that in itself, this uncertainty, causes a lot of anxiety, it causes a lot of stress, and then we start reacting in reactive ways, or what some people would say irrational ways. And if you happen to step into the stores yesterday or saw the front pages of newspapers this morning, bulk buying, stores and shelves are cleaned out, and people have absolutely gone into panic mode, and that is not good when it comes to mental and emotional factors, because it has an impact on our daily lives, on our mental well-being, and on our stress levels as well.
What is it about isolation that scares people so much that people don't want to self-quarantine, but they find themselves having to do so because of this pandemic?
By nature, we are social creatures and we are wired for connection. So putting us in isolation, particularly if you don't have other people around you, for example, single parents, people that are elderly, or people that don't have support structures in place. And this can lead to feeling isolated, feeling disconnected, and chronic loneliness stepping in can lead to the same equivalent as smoking 15 cigarettes a day, which is what research shows us.
I mean, you touched on it just now, but just expand a little bit further around what kind of physiological impact does loneliness have on the human body?
Yeah. So obviously with feeling disconnected, feeling isolated, in extreme cases it can head towards depression, and that can impact our stress levels. Feeling disconnected from the world, like we've got nowhere to turn to, we've got no one to talk to, and as I said, the physiological side of that is the impact on our immune system, and being equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day, which makes chronic loneliness more severe than actual obesity.
And the mental and emotional implications of loneliness?
So people often can't cope well with that, and in extreme cases, suicidal thoughts can even start playing out.
Wow, so it's definitely something to take very seriously.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Paula. We're not done with Paula yet. We are going to be coming back to discuss further the pandemic that is the coronavirus. What are the emotional implications of the global coronavirus pandemic? That is the question we are discussing. That is the hot topic this morning. You can go over to our Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show on SABC3. Drop your comments and we will engage with you live. But for now, it's back to you guys in studio.
Stunning work, Tulu. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Paula. So, guys, self-isolation is a real thing. It's happening, right?
First of all, can I just say thank you for that discussion earlier, but like how much more comfortable I feel having chatted to people who actually know what's going on, and just to know that the tone of the conversation is in the right place. I'm so proud of where the country has gone, which is fantastic. But I'm reckoning just stream and chill.
That's a good idea.
There's a positive spin to it, right? Keep the kids entertained. There's so many e-learning platforms for the kids as well to homeschool them. This is the time. Takalani sesame also taka.
Read books.
Sesame.
Stay away from the TV. Read books.
Yeah.
That's better, actually.
That's another way.
And there's also a hashtag called Quarantine Bay. So this is the time now that you...
Quarantine what?
Quarantine Bay.
What is that?
So, for instance, if both of you, if you and I were...
together,
and then you quarantine Bay, like you're my quarantine Bay. People's out here.
But like... I don't understand.
So if I got it, I would go to Idris Elba, and then he would be my Quarantine Bay.
For Titi Kama.
Oh, no. Jamie Domberg, no.
Yay.
Throw that away. That's trash. That's trash. Do not quarantine Bay. No.
Looking for immune support? Remain at your peak all year round with Immuenza.
Welcome back, you beautiful people. Thank you so much for keeping it locked on your feel-good kickstart to a day. And despite this rising conversation, the concerns around coronavirus, it has been a feel-good start to the day. So thank you so much. We're now talking about, in fact, the emotional repercussions of what we've been through over the last couple of weeks. We rejoin Tsolo in Joburg.
Thank you very much, Graham. We are joined by Paula Quincy here in our Johannesburg studios, talking everything coronavirus and the global pandemic and how it impacts on your mental and emotional well-being. We want to hear from you, so you can drop a comment on our Facebook page. It is Expresso Morning Show on SABC3 underneath this post, and we will engage with you live. Paula, like we've been saying, it's been such an anxious 2 weeks, not only in South Africa, but around the world. And being a leader at this point in time can be so challenging. What can employees and leaders do to make sure that they stay connected with the people they work with, although they're no longer in the same physical space, as we have been encouraged to self-quarantine and self-isolate?
Yeah. So businesses obviously have to change the way that they work, whether they're ready for it or not. For example, going online through different platforms, whether it be Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp video, but keeping in contact, keeping in check with your employees, your teams. How are they doing? How are they feeling? Giving them some kind of reassurance. I think the biggest thing that people are going to be worried about is obviously jobs, and from a financial point of view, if their salaries are going to be okay. And I think for the small business owners that may not necessarily have the same resources that the big corporates or companies do, in terms of potentially, how they're going to manage cash flow, how they're going to manage resources, because they are also feeding people and families that are working for them in their small businesses too. So constant communication in any format possible to remain connected and try and ease the uncertainty right now.
Now, that disconnect, that uncertainty can cause chronic loneliness. What kind of people can this happen to, or is it most likely to happen to?
Yeah. So we generally get two types of people, the introverts and the extroverts. Introverts are people that do prefer much more sort of being alone, smaller social gatherings and types of environments, whereas the extroverts actually thrive on that social interaction. So they are potentially going to be a lot more harder hit than the introverts, or people that work with a lot of people. And so I think from an individual point of view, if you know that you need people around you, how do you maintain some kind of level of contact through social media platforms, through phone calls, FaceTime, etc. And same with employers from a team point of view, how do you keep your team connected through team communications, team interactions online instead of face-to-face?
At this point of time, we've been reiterating that it's a very anxious, people are, panic buying. We saw that happen yesterday. People are going all out and, just exploring all kinds of preventative measures to make sure that they are covered. What can employees be doing to make sure that the employees' mental health and emotional health is being prioritized at this crucial time?
So leaders of all forms, shapes and sizes need to include the mental and emotional well-being as part of their COVID strategy. Obviously, business right now and the economy is looking at the basics in terms of logistics, where and how people can work to keep businesses going, as well as the financial impact. But we need to include the mental and emotional impact as part of the strategy going forward, either using company resources like employee well-being programs and initiatives, or reaching out to other sources of support and structures that can provide some kind of support to individuals and companies in this time of conflict and chaos.
Talking about those support structures and organizations that people can reach out to, what are they? Where can people get a hold of them?
So obviously there are the various medical counseling facilities and individuals and companies that offer these sources, but then there's also the national organizations such as Lifeline and SADC, South African Depression and Anxiety Group.
Thank you very much, Paula. As you've heard from Paula Quincy, our relationship expert, those are some of the organizations you can reach out to. It is a very crucial time with the coronavirus pandemic. People are anxious. People are going through all kinds of preventative measures to make sure that they stay safe. Lifeline is one of them, as well as the South African Depression and Anxiety Group. Those lines, or numbers rather, are on your screens. Remember, we want to hear from you. Engage us on our Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show on SABC3. What are some of the emotional impacts of the coronavirus global pandemic? That is the question we're asking. Drop a comment underneath this post and we will engage with you live. But for now, it is back to you guys in studio.
Thank you so much, Solo. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so glad that we're actually unpacking all these things and just making this part of a regular conversation, because there's so much fake news, so much bad things. So, yeah.
I think the one advantage we have here is this is a collective experience. We're all going through this together, so it's important that we do continue the conversation. When it comes to travel, that's one area that's certainly affecting me quite deeply at the moment, and I'm thinking a huge amount about those implications. You can imagine for those working within the travel industry, massive, massive implications. So we're going to talk about some of those knock-on effects within the travel system. Linda Baum from Travel Start is going to be here to give us an exact, detailed account of where the South African travel industry stands at the moment.
We are going to take a quick break, though, and we'll see you now.
We will talk to you.
Who says second-hand is second best? At Cash Converters, you can buy top brands at bargain prices and sell your goods for instant cash.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
We will turn your guilt trips into good trips. Book flights from 499 Rand. Only on travelstart.co.za.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso on a day that we have dedicated to informing ourselves and hopefully you guys at home about the coronavirus. And as the coronavirus continues to spread across the globe, it is a global pandemic. Now, the questions are whether or not to travel, whether we can actually travel, where it's safe to go, have become increasingly complicated. We're taking it day by day and we need to stay informed. But perhaps you have an international trip which you booked months ago and have been looking forward to. Maybe it was around a necessary occasion. Travel Start's Linda Baum, who is a balm to our soul, joins us this morning to advise on some of the most pressing questions. And I can speak with some authority because with the baby coming, we were supposed to have English family coming out here. We were going to take our little one to go and meet family that side. The UK is a high-risk country. Not going to happen.
Oh, Graham.
Plane tickets have already been bought.
Oh.
What are you guys advising your customers? Because the situation is so dynamic.
It is. It's ever-changing. I know we had a quick few minutes beforehand, and that is literally every few moments. There's new updates from airlines, new governmental updates. It's so continually changing in this uncharted territory. So what we are advising our customers, and I just want to go straight out and just say thank you to all our customers and everyone in the travel industry and people working with the people in travel industry, is just thank them for their patience. I think yesterday in particular, phone lines were a mission to get hold of. I can confirm that from our side. Everyone from the CEO to our developers to absolutely everyone is now trained and is on our online chat, ready and waiting to help and answer questions. And so, yes, what we're advising is that first and foremost, please go to our landing page. We have a safe travel landing page that has got everything you need to know about the airline changes and what you can do with the airlines. We are very ready and available to give you that insight. Our priority right now, to be honest, is people traveling in the next 72 hours. So we're really just dealing with that right now. And then as time goes, and then everyone traveling up until the 30th of April, and then we are dealing with travel post 30th of April, mainly because the airline rules are changing constantly. So please go to that website, go to our website and just research as much there. So yeah, tough times. I mean, from a knowledge perspective, and we would recommend if you are willing to travel still, and there is still borders open in certain countries, we advise that you just really educate yourself. Read the travel advisories, read up on it before you go, know your quarantine status when you get back into South Africa. These are all things that, you know, we would never have spoken about on the show or
it's
considered.
Unprecedented, and that's the bottom line.
Completely. Where we stand right now, what is hotels offering with regards to changes and cancellations?
So every
airlines
every airline is different. Most airlines and most hotel groups are using a suspension policy, which means it's actually really quite positive. It means that instead of losing money on cancellations, because there may not always be a full refund available, but in terms of suspension, you don't need to always give the date that you are. You don't need to give a return date on your flight or departure date on your flight. So we can move that ticket out to a new date in the future. And with
can you do that indefinitely, or is
you
it
can do that? It's valid for a year from the time that you made the booking.
Okay.
So with that, though, there's still going to be airline rules and regulations around that. For instance, there may, if you've booked 6 months ago for May, which is a quieter travel period, and now you want to travel in July, then you will have to, you know, pay the increase in fare of traveling in the school holidays. So things like that have come into place, but the changes are free, excluding the increase in fare and availability, of course.
So we know that many airlines have gone to the extent of asking for bailouts because of the lock. So as much as they can offer some kind of leeway, are we protected by insurances? With this being an unprecedented kind of situation, or would you have been covered if you had taken out relevant insurance or coverage in that sense?
Most insurance policies are not covering this, but there is now, for travel booked before I think 1st of March. But after that, there's now, I know we certainly have a COVID-19 insurance policy. I do recommend you get that. I still recommend, and I will always recommend years into the future, we'll recommend always taking out a comprehensive travel insurance policy, not just relying on credit card insurance. But yes, I think now if you are booking travel, it is very, very worthwhile taking out a COVID-19 insurance policy. I also want to say that, you know, domestic, our airlines are all still flying. I know the President has advised to, you know, non-essential travel should be put on hold, but we are still flying, people are still booking. Domestic South Africa is open for movement at this point in time.
With that being said, what tips are you as Travel Start and the team giving for people that is still traveling with regards to hygiene?
I think we are following the World Health Organization tips for hygiene. You know, obviously wash your hands frequently. You know, literally just sneeze into your... Let's just go for the president. Let's just keep that moving. The president's jab. And, you know, obviously, bring your own sanitary wipes onto the plane. You know, the planes are being Airlines are being fantastic. They've got new filtration systems being put into most of the airlines are certainly coming in and out of high-risk countries. They are, all their staff are being tested constantly. Everything's been sanitized, the blankets, the pillows, everything has been thoroughly just, I think, bleached with everything to try assist.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think
different times.
It really is, and again, we use the word unprecedented, but there are mechanisms in place, certainly from a communication perspective. Maybe that's the one area where we can all help the situation, and where you guys, I think you've had very little time to step up, to get that information again. Just to reiterate, where can we go to get the right information?
Please make contact with us. I would ask actually on behalf of all my colleagues in any travel space or any travel agency, phones are, let's use online chat and email rather than phones. Let's leave those phones open for emergencies.
It's only limited bandwidth.
Yeah, no, please. You know, if you're traveling in the next 72 hours, we need to hear from you. The important thing is, please make contact with us. If you've got a booking with Travel Start that is within the next 72 hours, don't just forego that by not going to the airport. You need to make contact so you can let us know if we need to change your time of departure, or we need to cancel. You can't just assume.
Just doing that in retrospect is going to be difficult.
As I said, we have upskilled all our staff. Everyone is on online chat. We've upstaffed our call centres, our travel experts. I think on the website, it does say talk to an expert. They will be able to guide you on places still safe to travel, and they're a wonderful experienced voice at the other end of the phone. So whatever we can do to help Travel Start is here for you. This is hard times for everyone, and we just as a company want to make this easier for you.
Oh, good luck, and hopefully being online based, many of you can work from home as well. Tough times indeed. At Travel Start is where you can follow them online. The live number I'm not going to give up, but you can email info@travelstart.com, and they've got a huge amount of
do use that phone number.
Yeah.
You can give it out. It is there for you, and whatever we can do.
021-020-0559. Especially if you're traveling in the next 72 hours, give them a call.
We will turn your guilt trips into good trips. Book flights from 499 Rand, only on travelstart.co.za.
So, friends, hashtag Tropical Island of Treasure Curacao is very well underway right now, and we've been enjoying all of the action from the island. It's been amazing over the past 2 weeks,
so
and today, episode 3, man, it's going to be absolutely incredible, because today is the very first round of elimination. It might be 2 episodes in, but we're already there. The competition is real. It has unfolded. Alliances have started to form, and today is the day. And of course, you'll remember that last week we spoke about the long life charms that are being introduced into Tropical Island of Treasure Curacao, and they're quite important.
Yeah, well, let's tell you about these charms. Now, they might be small objects, but it can definitely have a huge effect on the outcome of the game, as you will see on the show. Let's take a look at the following clip from episode 2.
Throughout the competition, you'll be playing for these long life charms. Accumulating these will give you a game-changing advantage when it comes to the grand finale of Tropical Island of Treasure Curacao. Every one of these represents a 30-second head start ahead of the team that you're competing against in that grand finale. You can imagine having one of these is 30 seconds, but a few more might give you a minute or 2. And that could make all the difference between you and 1 million Rand as a team.
Oh, it's on. It is so on. The competition's heating up now, eh?
Absolutely
I love it.
And the interesting elements that the team of Tropica have really introduced have really added to the spice and to the drama. So as you've just heard now, that these long life charms that we call on the show, they are awarded in the long life charm ceremony, and they're awarded to the winning team. And if it happens that there is a tie, then the 2 top teams will then compete in a long life charm challenge. Okay. Right? Now, every time that a team gets one of these, it gives them a 30-second lead at the the start of the grand finale. And there's absolutely no limit to how many of these you can actually accumulate over the period of this series. And if a team gets eliminated, no, then they have to donate their long life charms to a team of their choice that they would like to give the advantage to. So they're going to have a big, big impact on the game.
I love it. I love how this is all unfolding and how it's going to be working out. But of course, this is a fresh and fun element that #Tropica has introduced to the season of Tropica Island of Treasure Curacao, and it will have a knock-on effect throughout the season, as you've just heard from Kat. But if you want to see what's going down in episode 3 of Tropica Island of Treasure Curacao, remember to tune in tonight, 7:30, right here on SABC3. Of course, Kat's going to be performing a bit later on the theme song towards the end of the show. That's going to be so much about smooth fame and fortune, nothing.
Regai,
muta.
Malume, que Tropica Tuesday, Malume. Yo!
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Happy birthday, a very happy birthday to you.
Welcome back, everybody, to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. When you hear that sound, you know it's time to wish you, our loyal viewers at home, a happy, happy birthday on the 17th of March.
Yes, part 2 of it. Let's get straight into it. It is Ayanda's birthday today. Ayanda today turns 29. We wish you a very happy birthday, Stadwa. May you see many, many more years to come. This is from Snow, Mbir, Maendi, Mandla, and your mother, Mrs. Bakalisile Trele. God bless you and happy birthday, Ayanda. And then we have Omtanda Mazulu. On this day, I was blessed with this beautiful gift, Mr. O. May God grant you many more years. This is from your mom, Yonela, and your brother, Endinako. Happy birthday.
And then a happy 23rd birthday to my son, Cameron. May goodness and mercy follow you all the days of your life. Love from your mom, dad, and sister. Graduated. And then wishing my daughter, Chandra, a happy, sweet 16th birthday. May God bless you with his richest blessings and health. Enjoy your special day. Love from your daughter.
And a very 5th happy birthday to Rao. May God's richest blessings come your way. I love you so much. This is from your grandparents, your dad, and the rest of the family. Happy birthday. And then Willow, today it's your birthday. They celebrate this bundle of joy, Willow. We ask to God that he bless you more. May you be like a tree by the river whose leaves never wither and bears fruit at the right time. Happy birthday, Willow.
Poet, and they don't even know it.
Oh, yes.
And then a happy birthday to Sibongile Zuma. May you be blessed with many more years to come from Matu Mokala and Boitumelo. Yay! And then we have a 13th birthday to our girlie, Olobocheng. May God bless you abundantly. Continue being a good girl from your mommy.
Jody, Angel. It says here, I wish my sister Jody a happy 6th birthday. May God bless you with many more years. Stay the cute and loving angel that you are. I love you lots like jelly birthday tots from your sister Melissa, from Samantha, and your brother Michael. And then last but certainly not least, let's round it off. Elijah, happy birthday today, Elijah Malum. This is from your cousin. Thank you very much for being the world's coolest, fun, and loving cousin. We love you very much. This is from Morgan and Maya. And that's where we wrap it up, right? For birthdays.
Absolutely. Send those videos through to 071 640 6551 or email us at birthdays@cordova.tv. But today we're saying happy birthday.
Clover cheese is for those who love life, where everything falls into place and melts away our cares. Clover, for the love of cheese.
Made with love by Clover.
Hey, speaking of birthdays, today we're also bringing you some very cool tricks for your little one's next birthday party, if you haven't had any great ideas yet. We're talking old school racing cars, we're talking cone heads, marshmallow sticks, and more. And of course, no kids' party will be complete without some delicious Clover Cubitos on the side as a savory snack. Cubitos are available in 3 delicious flavors, and these are snacks that are made from 100% real cheddar cheese, and therefore a natural source of calcium, so that you can make sure that these are on your shopping list. Graham has washed his hands. I've sanitized my hands. It's important that you sanitize and clean the areas that you work in. I don't know why they made this extra difficult for me to pull out. You know what I mean?
Just to prove that you actually are doing it, you know?
There you go. One for
well
you.
Done. Thank you, sir.
And one for me. You can sanitize your hands or the surface as well. Luckily, Nicole generally keeps the kitchen very clean.
Yeah, no, we have ramped things up dramatically in our studio, which is correct.
Cool.
So we're going to have a little bit of fun, man.
Yeah. Take a look at these, man. These are amazing.
I love the little horse with the party hat.
And a nice little touch that Nicole and the team have also put in place is this. Guess what this is? That's a matchbox.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, old matchbox. You get it, wrap it around, and you can put all kinds of things in there, like little money.
I'm teaching, well, 5 rand.
Okay, 5 rand. Let's go with 5 rand. Okay, economic times are tough. So you can make something like that. You can put all kinds of little treats in a box. It doesn't necessarily have to be a matchbox. It can be something more creative if you like. And what about these?
And you can pick up those animals quite inexpensively at certain stores, which is cool. So have a little bit of fun with that. Okay, so where should we begin, man? I love that. It's like a little, it looks like, is that a trumpet?
No, it could be. But it's actually a clown hat.
Oh, very cute.
Got some melted marshmallow on the inside as a little bit of a surprise, and you've stuck on these little sweets with chocolate over here.
I suppose you could put the blob of ice cream in a bowl and put the clown hat on top.
There we go.
Eh?
Exactly.
Nice.
Let's make these racing cars then.
Okay, you go ahead.
So you've got these beautiful biscuits and these wheel-shaped sweets, and you've got a bit of melted chocolate that you just dip.
So that's the glue.
That is the glue that keeps it all together. How about you make one as well? Can you? No,
No, I don't have wheels, man. I don't have wheels.
See, there you go.
I'm short of spare parts. And it's worth letting the melted chocolate start to kind of cool a little bit to make it a little bit more gluey.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
This is where you can test your constructor's skills. Yeah. Pretend you're a Formula One.
Nice mags, bro. Nice mags.
And they're spinning. They're spinning. Okay, let's get this on here. My wheels are falling apart. Obviously, once you've left it there for a while,
I suppose you could also use some icing.
But you get them in the fridge, and they'll freeze up. The chocolate will freeze up pretty quickly. I don't know if I've got enough there. Just make sure you got enough. Your wheels need
of the bonding,
some good lubrication.
Bonding agent.
The bonding agent as well. And then what do you think? No, there. It's getting there. Okay, so your Formula One car is there.
You need a little cockpit.
And then you need a little Lewis Hamilton. There you go. We plant him in the front. No, he needs to be at the back.
Back, yeah.
Sit there, Lewis.
But your engine looks very, very aerodynamic, man.
There we go. So you can get this in the fridge, and once it's frozen, it'll look something like that.
Very cute.
Brilliant.
Kids love this sort of stuff, so do this with your child. And then, of course, we've got our Cubitos here. We're going to do something really cute. We're going to make little virpies with our Cubitos, hey?
Indeed, okay.
Now we can both make one. So you grab, I don't know what, I just need to test what flavor it is before we work.
Can we go like...
Oh, that's smoked beef. Oh, that's yummy.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure you do a little taste test for yourself, cut into some bite-sized cubes. You obviously can dust them with delicious flavors. They've got sour cream and onion, smoked beef, which we're trying right now, and chutney, all absolutely delicious. It's a nice, healthier snack, which is quite cool. It's a nice alternative compared to other snacks like chips or pretzels, which often have a very high salt and oil content. These are absolutely delicious. How's it going there?
Very good.
So our little virpies.
And then if you're that skilled, you can take and cut off the edges of toothpicks and then through them you will skewer pieces of olives like we've done over here, which form your little eyes.
Very, very, very cute.
You got a vitamin.
Okay, I'm going to very quickly, while we're doing this, one last thing you can do, very simple. Just dunk yourself a marshmallow. We're going to use the same chocolate.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And then you get all kinds of sprinklings that you can add.
I'm only going to half do it now, and I'm going to give him a little multicolored hat. Look at this.
Look at that. Oh, cool. Very cool.
Like a little Super Mario.
Very easy.
Whoa. Whoa, man. Whoa, dude.
A little bit too much chocolate over there.
Sauce there. Oh, how cute is that?
All right.
Whoops.
So as easy and as simple as that, the kids will be delighted if you don't if you don't end up eating all of the treats yourself. Now, while of course kids parties are fun and often filled with sugar, it is a good idea to have some healthy options available as well. So we'll show you some very clever sugar-free and healthy kids party treats in a couple of weeks that you can add to these as well. So be sure to keep in tune for that on your favorite Feel Good Breakfast show. And of course, if you want a list of all of the ingredients that we used in today's goodies, SMS the keyword Clover to 33728. SMSs will run you at around 50 per SMS, and no free SMSs apply. How is that?
It's cooling. It's cooling. It's there. It looks great. Let's try another one.
Clover cheese is for those who love life, where everything falls into place and melts away our cares. Clover, for the love of cheese.
Made with love by Clover. Only you can make my day.
Looking for immune support? Remain at your peak all year round with Immuenza.
Yes. It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to it, your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso live on SABC3. The Feel Good is elevating to a high altitude right now as we take a look at what's happening in the world of entertainment.
Absolutely. Now, yesterday we actually reported on the cancellation of so many live studio audiences on programs such as The Daily Host. We saw Family Feud. Now, speaking about The Daily Show, host Trevor Noah has confirmed that the show will not be filming episodes for the upcoming week due to the COVID-19 threat. Now, doing their part in socially distancing themselves, which is quite scary for the entertainment industry. However, he went on to mention that social distancing is necessary to catalyze the process of combating this pandemic and to assist the medical system as well. Now, the Ellen DeGeneres show has also halted production until the 30th of March in their bid to promote social distancing and safety as well. So again, we are seeing it.
We are the only
all
ones who are doing shows.
We're going to work from home, everybody, but as we've mentioned, COVID-19 does not discriminate at all, as we can see, as high-profile personalities have fallen victim to. We've seen Idris Elba, Tom Hanks, as well as the Bond girl from Quantum of Solace, Olga Kurilenko, has also tested positive for the virus. Now, she took to Instagram to explain that she has been held up at home after feeling ill. She mentioned that fever and fatigue are my main symptoms. Take care of yourself and do take this seriously. I think we all are definitely taking this serious right now, having this conversation.
Absolutely.
Now, locally as well, following the President Cyril Ramaphosa's address on the 15th of March, the Baxter and Fugard theatres have taken on the plight to close shop. It is breaking my heart. Now, the statement issued by the general manager of the Fugard, Lamise Albertas, went on to say that full refunds for seats booked will be arranged upon contact with the theatre. So head on over maybe to their
to their website and start the process of refunds.
Ultimately, as per the president's address as well, gatherings of more than 100 people are temporarily prohibited in South Africa. Now, a number of gatherings have been cancelled locally, such as the Cape Town Carnival, which we reported on yesterday, WWE Live Tour, which was supposed to happen in April and May, and a number of sporting events, such as the Two Oceans Marathon. Now, the status of the 95th Comrades Marathon, which is set for the 14th of June from Pietermaritzburg, is still pending.
Hey, that's the times, man. It is the times. But of course, listen, it's not possible for all of us to apply the social distancing as far as work is concerned. So as you can see, we are at work, but it means that when you are out there and working, because you can't socially distance yourself, you do take the precautionary measures of sanitizing your hands on a regular basis. We are keeping safe in this space, and that's why we're able to bring you the show, and we are still able to come here. Right now, though, something really, really cool is happening ahead of tonight, 7:30. G-Man, Cat Factor, what's happening?
Yeah, it's about finding that smooth fame and fortune. I've had that song in my head, man. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Nothing
smooth. As the song suggests, that's what it's all about. It's about our celebrities and their contestant partners finding their way to a smooth fame and fortune package of $1 million. It's a lot, man. And we know that on episode 3 tonight, we're going to be introducing the eliminations that gets very real very fast. We'll see our first team exiting the island of Curacao, which is crazy. So you've got to make sure that you tune in at 7:30 tonight. But if you want to get into that island groove right now, we've got just a little special treat for you. And I'm saying this because we brought it back by popular demand, because you loved it when we brought it to you for the first time for a bit of a debut here on the show. Here he is again with smooth fame. Hey, fortune.
Arriving in hot paradise, smooth tropical on ice. We party hard at nighttime, waking up in the sunshine. Blue sky and kissy, smooth time guaranteed. With fine sand under your feet, move your body to the beat. On this island, sunset on my silence. Curacao, what a pleasure, a tropical island of treasure. Smooth fame and fortune, nothing smooth. 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 Feeling the ocean, the waves crashing in slow motion. Cruise ships in the distance, nothing better than this instance. Clear skies tonight, Milky Way reflecting right. Sunrise, here we come. It's game time, fun in the sun. There's a party on my island. Stop the beat, I got some things to mention. Toast to those who couldn't deal with the tension. 6 figures, I'm cashing out my pension. Smooth fame and fortune, nothing smooth. Smooth fame and fortune, nothing smooth. Smooth fame and fortune, nothing smooth. Smooth fame and fortune, nothing smooth.
Oh, you have to love it. It's all going down tonight, 7:30 on SABC3. The eliminations have begun, and so the heat has just gone to a whole new heat factor.
Well, I like the fact that the crack. We can sit down, I think.
Oh, can we? Thanks.
Sorry, thanks for bringing us to our
we're
feet,
giving
bro.
you a standing ovation.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Nothing smoother, man.
He's actually wants to be a backup dancer.
I really do. I've got the moves. Graham and I have actually come up with a dance together.
Oh wow, that's cool because we're gonna figure out what is a signature move for the chorus of Smooth Fame and Fortune. So maybe you can show us yours.
Not today, okay?
No, please, come on.
Finish it up.
Smooth Fame and Fortune. Come on, smooth. Yes, Smooth Fame and Fortune.
Wow. Another audition, maybe you, G-Man, like maybe another move.
Gemini, but you're a real fan of the show, aren't you?
I am.
Smooth Fame and Fortune, not Facebook. Smooth Fame. Oh my God.
The facial expression.
Your turn,
The nation. The nation wants it. The nation wants Smooth Fame and Fortune, not Facebook. Smooth Fame and Fortune. Hey.
That's as far as we
It's
go.
too much.
I love
No, maybe you've got some moves you want to add to it that embody the theme song that we'll, of course, hear. And it sounds all innocuous, the song. It's all soft and sweet and light and fluffy, but tonight it ain't. It's
It
gonna get
ain't.
real.
It really isn't.
It's going to get
As
real,
you heard
man.
earlier on that today, yes, the first elimination. We have 6 teams currently in the competition, but today one of the teams will be leaving the competition forever. And there's no, you can come back. You can come back.
Like what color?
I could never touch you.
You're so good at keeping this secret. Like every single week, you are just so like about it.
It is what it is. But the drama in you've got to witness it and experience it yourself in order to really feel. I could tell you about it, but you wouldn't know what I'm saying unless you watch it yourself. As with last week's episode.
People winning the charms already, the long life charm.
Yeah, of course. Last week, Team Cool Red won the very first long life charm. And like I said, there's a real play of personalities within the game. I mean, if you see what happened to Kay and Caldine and the breaking between them as a team, where somebody made a decision, namely Kay, that he made on his own without informing his teammate, and that kind of like is like, are we really in this together? Are we really doing this million man thing together now?
Play out. Wow.
Yeah.
Goes
do
down
the eliminations
tonight.
make you sad?
Very, of course. I mean, I love all those guys. I really love all those guys, and you form a bond with them. But at the end of the day, someone's got to go home. So catch you tonight, 7:30 on SABC3. Yeah, we're gonna go home.
We'll see you
tonight.
tomorrow. Love ya. Too much
Someone smile.
Adios.
Expresso Show, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.